himself up the throw, dug out by Euclid. Long run for Marquez, diving.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox, Comcast Sportsnet.
There is playoff life in the desert. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. The Cubs and Diamondbacks getting ready to play the rubber game of this three-game set. First pitch, 3:40, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Welcome to Dodge Cubs pregame live alongside the lefty, former Cubs reliever Dan Plesac. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. The Cubs trying to head home with a 4-2 record on this road trip. And Dan, the Brewers, of course, come to Wrigley this week, but as a player, you've got to focus on this game and not look ahead to the big series coming up.
Well, with 34 games left in the schedule, I mean, it's to the point now where you can ill afford to look beyond today's game. This is a very big ball game today for the Cubs. I mean, what they find themselves with a 1.5 game lead. It's going to be a huge series for the Milwaukee Brewers, but hopefully Lou Piniella and his coaching staff, I'm sure they've done a very good job of keeping this team focused. If they could somehow pull this out and end this road trip, 4 wins, 2 losses, not bad considering a West Coast swing, get back to the friendly confines and start taking care of business at home. This is a big game today. This is a big game, and every game really from the rest of the year now is going to be a big game in a big series.
Big game today, but let's get to the big news. Time to go out to Chase Field. Lou Piniella met with the media before today's game. He has breaking news on Alfonso Soriano.
Yeah, he's going to play Tuesday. We're going to activate him, and unless he slips coming off the airplane, that's joking. But no, he's ready to go. He's ready to go. He's going to have to be a little careful, but we'll activate him on Tuesday and get him out there playing.
He'll bat 1 and Terry on 2 weeks.
I would think that's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll put We'll put Soriano back in the leadoff spot, Terry on the 2-hole, then we'll adjust. He's been working hard. I mean, he's on this road trip here in San Francisco. He worked hard. Here in Arizona, the same, and he's ready to go. I mean, we could wait another week, but he's not going to get any better than he is.
Are there any limitations?
Limitations? He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to do. I'm not going to give you limitations and let the other team read it. That's for sure.
Between us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But no, he knows what he needs to do.
Did he have to lobby pretty hard?
No, I mean, I've talked to the trainers about this, and we haven't talked to our team doctor because we've been on the road. But I've talked to Soriano. I've seen him myself for the past 3 or 4 days. And, we worked him hard. I mean, it hasn't been little patty cake workouts. I mean, he's had stop and goes. He's gone first to third. He's played. He's gotten full range of batting practice, full range of outfield. I mean, he's ready to go. So we thought it would be around Labor Day. He's about a week ahead of schedule. Actually, he told me he could play today. But hey, Eddie. But we'll he's going to get a good workout today on his legs in the weight room. And nice day off tomorrow, and he'll be ready to go Tuesday night.
Wow, so that is big news. They have the Brewers coming up, and there's the boost. You get Soriano back in the lineup. Now, Lou Piniella mentioned limitations. He said he knows what he needs to do. You think that means maybe a red light on stealing bases for a little while?
I'm sure. And where it gets really dicey at this time of the year, it's going to start to get cool and damp, the nights here in September in Chicago and playing on the road in the Midwest on the East Coast. I think one of the concerns you have is just what you brought up. Is he going to have the green light to steal bases? Probably not. You've got to be a little bit careful sending him first to third on a base hit, and really important with Mike Quaddy coaching third base. Try not to stretch him out if he's on second base to score. score on a ball that he normally would score on. Try to err on the safe of being safe. And then I think one of the big keys is going to be, when you do these workouts with your medical staff and the training staff, those are all controlled workouts. And you get into a ball game and you're playing left field and a ball's hitting the gap in left center or down the line in left field, your initial reaction is going to be to get a quick jump on that ball. And that's some of the things that you really can't compare that, or you could try to duplicate it the best you can working out, but really that's going to come when you have that adrenaline going in your body to make sure that I'm sure they're really going to be talking with him between innings before the game to make sure you keep your legs loose. Try to do as little sitting as you can. Don't allow yourself to tighten up and stiffen up. So it's going to be an adventure for him, but he's a tremendous athlete and he's been through this before, and it'll be a huge pickup for this offense.
You look back to August 5th, you see him pulling up, going into third base. I thought his season was over. That 1 centimeter tear in the quad. A lot of guys aren't able to come back from that, especially this quickly. It's
really a credit to the Cubs medical staff, and the only thing you have to worry about is this is a guy that really, his whole game is around explosion, about speed, and is it going to limit him as far as being able to go first to third, being able to score from second, trying to stretch a double into a triple, getting jumps on balls, and he's not your conventional type outfielder. He's learning on the job. Sometimes his routes are a little adventurous, so it'll be interesting to see how he's able to handle that, knowing that he probably can't go full throttle the whole 9 innings. And will he be rusty at the plate? That's something we'll find out. I'm sure that he will be. Initially, anybody at a game, baseball is such a crazy game, and for those at home, it sounds crazy, but when you do this daily, it is such a game of routine. It's from batting practice to stretching to what you do, preparing yourself for the game. And anytime, even I know guys that go home over the All-Star break, they get a couple of days off. It takes a couple of days to get your body, to get your timing, to get your feeling back, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he struggles the first couple of bats, but I think as soon as he centers the ball or has a really good at bat, sees some pitches, gets a good ball to hit and makes contact, it'll get his confidence right back to where he needs to be. Now here's the interesting part. Lou Piniella said flat out he's back at the top of the lineup. Things have been working out pretty well without him at the top of the lineup right now. Since Soriano went down on August 5th, Ryan Theriot has hit .324 in that leadoff spot, including 8 multi-hit games. The Cubs are going to put him back at the top. Is this the right move, moving Theriot down to number 2? Well, that's the million-dollar question. But one thing in Ryan Theriot's defense is he has been above and beyond the call of duty all season long. He's played just about everywhere in that infield, a little bit of third base, mainly the last couple of months shortstop. He's played some second base. And to his credit, he has produced and produced well, whether it's hitting leadoff, hitting in the 2 spot, the 7 spot, the 8 spot. He has been a very, very valuable player. He's one of the really unsung heroes of why this team is still in contention and leading this division by a game and a half. I'm not sure that they would be anywhere close to where they are right now without him. Theriot may be a better and more typical leadoff hitter, but Soriano struggles when he's not at the top of the order. That's the other factor. Well, that is really, I think, when you add that into the mix, if you look at Alfonso Soriano's numbers when he's batting in the leadoff spot, his home runs are up, his batting average is up, and Lou Piniella has tinkered with a couple of times during the season, dropping him into the 3-hole, hitting him in the 4 or the 5-hole, and it hasn't really worked out. And I think what you try to do is put your players in a position where they feel comfortable, where they can succeed, and without question, that spot happens to be the leadoff spot for Alfonso Soriano. Okay, so Soriano is back on Tuesday. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup, brought to you by IPA. Jason Marquis for the Cubs and Yusmeiro Petit for the Diamondbacks. Now, Marquis is going for his 11th win of the season. Petit has just 2 wins this year, but one of them is against the Cubs. Marquis has gone at least 6 innings in each of his last 3 starts, and the Cubs have won all 3 games. Last time out, he went 7, gave up just 1 run in a no decision at San Francisco. One of the things he's really done, he has pitched some of the biggest games, and one that really jumps right to mind is right prior to the All-Star break was a huge 3-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers, and the 3 and 4 starters, Sean Marshall and Rich Hill, were out early in the 3rd and 4th inning, and really that Cub bullpen was depleted and taxed, and they really needed him to step up, and he stepped up big time. It seems like when his back has been against the wall, the bigger the game, the more and the better he has performed. So let's hope that continues, because the rest of the season, all of these games, all of these starts are going to be very, very big.
Okay, the good news is Petit is a right-hander, and the Cubs certainly hit right-handers better than they do left-handers. Here's the Cubs lineup today. Ryan Theriot leading off for the last time until Alfonso Soriano comes back. Jock Jones obviously won't be hitting second against the Brewers because Theriot's going to slide down to that 2 spot. So you figure Jock Jones is probably headed down further in the lineup. We see Craig Monroe, the new acquisition, getting his second straight start. He'll be in right field this afternoon. Mike Fontenot playing second. And how about this? Henry Blanco starting behind the plate, catching Jason Marquis.
I think one of the keys is Henry Blanco will be his first game back in quite some time, but he knows this pitching staff, and he knows this staff very well. I think you can afford to insert a couple of guys into the lineup to use the mix of players. This Diamondback team is not a very strong offensive team. They aren't the type of team like the New York Mets that you look like you're going to have all you can do to contain them. The key to beating the Diamondbacks is getting ahead of them early and try to score some runs early. Their bullpen in the back end, they have some power arms in the right-handed side. And one thing you don't want to do is play catch-up with this team. It's really going to boil it down to Jason Marquis keeping the Cubs in the game to hopefully they can break through and score some runs.
Okay, we have to take a quick timeout, but stick around. There's much more to come on Cubs Pregame Live. When we come back, we'll hear the latest from Len Casper and Bob Brenly at the ballpark. And later, the story of 2 Cajun boys playing in the Windy City. No, it's not Mike Fontenot and Ryan Theriot. It's Fontenot and a high school classmate who now plays for the Bulls. Cubs and Diamondbacks at 3:40, right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. The first pickup with side curtain airbags. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever and grab life for a lifetime.
What do you think of Mike Wallace and the Geico Chevrolet?
Whatever. He's out there selling car insurance. I'm out there to win.
Isn't he your cousin?
I didn't say I wouldn't go fishing with the man. All I'm saying is, he comes near me, I'll put him in the wall.
Well, you don't race in the Busch Series.
Listen, go-kart track, grocery store, those remote-control boats. When it comes to Mike Wallace, the story ends with me putting him in the wall.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Four Seasons, the largest family-owned and operated heating and air conditioning contractor, has simple goals: provide exceptional service at the best possible price and offer products that leave you nothing but satisfied. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause. Beginning September 9th, the Bears are back from hibernation, and only Comcast Sportsnet will have the most in-depth coverage in town. After every game, get all the analysis, interviews, and reaction on Bears postgame live. Mondays at 5. Don't miss the Bears recap with head coach Lovie Smith. Wednesdays and Thursdays at 4:30. Bears Blitz gets you set for the next big matchup for the Monsters of the Midway. And Thursday nights at 11, it's Countdown to Kickoff. It all begins September 9th, only on Comcast Sportsnet, a Chicago Bears fan's best friend.
I am your idea, and I'm huge. Tab me, bind me, stack me, send me round. I'm your big idea. You can't stop this. I'm your biggest idea. And Rico moves me, shows me, sends me. Leaves me behind, but never in a bind. It's the big time. I'm your big idea. And Rico's how we go and go and go.
Cubs in the middle of a heated Central Division race. Right now, the Cardinals are leading the Braves 4-1 in the top of the 7th. And in the first inning, Brewers and Giants scoreless again. The Brewers a game and a half behind the Cubs in the standings, and the Cardinals 3 games out in the Central right now. Welcome back to Cubs Pregame Live. Salmon High School in Slidell, Louisiana has just 850 students, but in a 3-year span, they put 3 athletes into the pros in 3 different sports. 2 of them play right here in Chicago. Cubs infielder Mike Fontenot and Bulls guard Chris Duhon once walked the same hallways. Now they share the city sports fans. Josh Moore has the story.
They play similar styles.
Fontenot, meanwhile, to third base. He will slide in. It's a triple. Good move.
And similar roles for their respective teams.
It'll be Fontenot racing over the slide and the catch.
Steal, Duhan gets it back and is rewarded for the defense.
Chris Duhan and Mike Fontenot took a similar journey from tiny Salmon High School in Slidell, Louisiana, to Cardinal Sandburg's city of big shoulders. Their background binds them here.
We went to the same high school together, pretty much more friends with his younger brother. But, you know, when I've seen him we speak, I know all about him. I know about all his accomplishments. Like I said, I mean, I followed him when he was in high school as well. And, I mean, I just knew that he would be a great pro.
I mean, he was one of the, you know, fun guys to be around. Like I said, he was an outgoing guy. You know, he's always, you know, everybody liked him, one of those type of guys.
Girls everywhere.
Though they've yet to meet up in Chicago, they are keeping eyes on each other. Duhan checked out Fontenot in the midst of his hot start when he went 9 for 13 in a series against the Rockies. But he didn't heckle him with high school nicknames. In fact, he didn't even stop to say hello.
You never want to, mess with anybody's concentration during the game. I know how that feels sometimes, even when it's family members there. It's like, Chris, and you're like, I'm focused on my job. So you never want to be one of those because I understand how it is. So, but, I mean, he's here in Chicago. There's definitely going to be a time where we get together and catch up.
Duhan and Fontenot weren't the only big men on Salmon's campus to make it big. Terrell Beria started 12 games at safety for the Seattle Seahawks in 2004 before leaving to help his family through Hurricane Katrina. Beria and Fontenot won state championships in their sports as seniors. Duhan's team lost the basketball championship in the semifinals, falling just shy of completing a hat trick of success.
He was doing so well on the baseball end, and, their team was really, really good, just like our team is really good. So it brought a lot of buzz to the whole area.
People live and breathe, especially college baseball down there, so it's big baseball. And, I mean, football's been, really great, for years. So even basketball at times, So, I don't know, I think everybody just, loves sports down there.
The ironic thing is that the physical building of Salmon High School with the gym and dugouts where Duhan and Fontenot excelled no longer exists. It suffered catastrophic damage during Hurricane Katrina. But the school is back on its feet at full enrollment in a temporary building for the next 4 years. And Duhan has helped. His foundation raised $26,000 to help pay for the Katrina year's graduating class to go on its senior trip. Fontenot touched the hurricane too. He was playing for the Iowa Cubs in New Orleans as Katrina approached. His family had already moved back to Lake Charles in western Louisiana, but friends weren't so lucky.
No, I didn't have any family in Slidell at the time, but a ton of friends, coaches, things like that, people from high school, even some people I went to college with are from Slidell. And one friend in particular just built a house within the year and didn't have flood insurance and got about 8 feet of water in his house. I was on the other side of the state. Right when I got home, they had the other hurricane come through and get us in Louisiana, Rita. And I was helping out with a lot of that. I have a lot of family over there. I mean, we didn't have anything too bad happen to us. Some awning flew away, but a ton of trees down and things like that. So I was on that side trying to help out with them, mostly.
It's clear both helped their Chicago teams in a similar way, doing the little things that help a team or a town win.
Coming from the same hometown, that a small town like Slidell, that, with the hard work that you can do, whatever you want to do. And I think it just encourages kids from back in our hometown that, look, you have two guys that pretty much graduated the same year and, are both in the pros.
They admire each other from a distance. They hope to see each other soon.
Probably get together. We really had two different sets of type of friends in high school, but like I said, we always had that mutual respect.
Yeah, hey Chris, hey, hook me up.
Done and done. Josh Moore, Comcast Sportsnet.
Might see Fontenot in a few Bulls games coming up, and I guarantee you, Chris Duhan, if the Cubs make the playoffs, Chris Duhan's going to be around Wrigley Field.
Both tickets to get. Good thing they know each other.
Yes, it's amazing that this has happened in such a small school, too. I could see it happening in a private school in New York or Chicago where you can recruit athletes almost. But this is 850 students in a little tiny town.
Remarkable story, but I tell you what, they do really love their high school sports, and unfortunately they're in an area, where there aren't a lot of professional teams around that area. So high school athletics, college athletics are really big in the South.
Well, they're big stars when they go home now. Ahead on the show, we'll get Dan's keys to a Cubs win today, and we'll hear from Len Casper and Bob Brenly in just a bit. Our Just for Men Stay in the Game highlight comes from last night. Ted Lilly giving up just 4 hits in 6 innings. And unfortunately, the Cubs offense would stall. They lost 3-1. But Lilly's performance helped the Cubs stay in the game. You too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Are your kids dreaming of playing in the big leagues? Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are giving them a chance. Chevy's Diamond Dreams. Simply log on to ChevyDriveChicago.com, print out an entry form, and bring it to your local Chevy dealer now. Your kid could play for Ozzie or Lou at U.S. Cellular Field or Wrigley Field. Enter by September 8th for a chance to make their Diamond Dreams come true now.
That was a nice catch, kid.
Honey. Hey, listen, I'm out here with the guys, and they're really pushing me hard to come back and play another season in New York. What do you think?
Are you kidding?
Just say no. Just say the word no, and I'll stay retired. Just say no, and, you know, I won't do it. Okay, great then.
Guys,
I'm back. She's so happy, she's speechless.
The network you can trust, AT&T. Buy any phone and get up to 4 free.
Okay, you're ready to go with speeds up to 10 megabits per second. I have MediaCom online in 10 meg. You can download videos in seconds.
I can download videos in seconds!
And that's really, really fast.
And that's really, really...
Can I say 6 times faster than DSL? Not a problem.
Cool.
Drop that slow DSL and discover the power of MediaCom online with VIP speeds of up to 10 megabits per second. Just $19.95 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-CABLE-TV today.
Do you want to talk to me?
Then you'd better pay attention.
Because I may be the one you're looking for.
You know, the one who's interested in buying what you have to sell.
And chances are, you'll only find me with cable because more people like me are watching the channels that mean something to them.
They don't find that with broadcast.
And you may not find me with broadcast.
Get it. With cable.
Want better value, precision, and results from your advertising? Call On Media today.
Every night, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Welcome back to Dodge Cubs pregame live. Dan Plesac and Luke Stuckmeyer here. For more on the game, though, let's send it out to Len Casper and Bob Brenly in Arizona.
Thanks, Luke and Dan. You always want to try to be at least 500 on any road trip, and the Cubs have already won 3. But if you can win this series today, 4-2 will feel nice.
4-2 would feel real nice on this road trip. We talked about it earlier in the season when we went to Los Angeles and San Diego. Coming out west for whatever reason for teams from the East and the Midwest, you would usually take a 500 road trip and be happy with it. But the Cubs in a position to go 4-2, that would be outstanding.
The Cubs have gotten quality starts from everybody on this trip except for Carlos Zambrano. It'll be Jason Marquis today.
Jason Marquis, for me today, a changeup is going to be a good pitch for him. We've seen what the Cubs pitching staff has done against these young Diamondbacks throughout this series. They're a bunch of good fastball hitters. They like to hack. They like to be aggressive. Breaking balls, changeups, very effective pitches against the D-backs. Hopefully, Jason will have his good changeup today.
And this might be the final game the Cubs play this year without Alfonso Soriano. Sounds like he's going to be back in the lineup and leading off Tuesday.
Well, certainly that's great news. I think had the Cubs, gone 5-1 or 4-2 on this road trip, they may not have felt the urgency to bring him back. But the big series with the Brewers starting Tuesday, Alfonso wants to play, Lou wants him to play, and I'm sure all the fans want him to play, so he's going to be in there.
Craig Monroe in the lineup playing right field against the right-hander Yusmeiro Petit. Will have all the action coming up.
All right, thanks, guys. They touched on Marquis and his changeup. Also, he has trouble sometimes walking too many batters. Control's a big factor for him today, too.
Primarily early on during the game. You can usually tell if he's going to be around the plate the first couple of hitters of the game. And if he's throwing the ball well, he's really easy to spot and pick up because he'll be throwing a lot of ground balls, that good sinking fastball. If he's throwing strikes early, pitching to contact, getting some ground balls, pretty good sign he's going to hang around for a while.
He's been eating up some innings for that Cubs bullpen and saving them and resting them, so that's been good as well. We're getting close to game time here on Comcast Sportsnet. It's a battle of first-place teams and possibly a playoff preview. Cubs and Diamondbacks coming up on Comcast Sportsnet at the bottom of the hour.
Cubs pregame live on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Dodge dealers. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. The first pickup with side curtain airbags. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever and grab life for a lifetime.
Try Arby's new toasted subs. Whether it's the French dip and twist, the classic Italian, turkey bacon club, or the Philly beef, they're toasted to perfection, and they'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Hey, Chicagoland, looking for a career change? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. IPA had another winning year and is now hiring appointment setters and inside sales representatives. IPA employees are building careers. The 600 employees at the Northwest Suburban office love working at IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542, weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money. But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanting to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, isn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The odds you'll catch Mother Nature on one of her bad days? 9 to 1. The LR3, created for the one. Visit your local Land Rover Center now for limited time, model year, and lease and finance offers.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Cubs pregame live. It's time for Dan Plezak's Lexus keys to the game. What do you have, Lefty?
Well, fairly obvious, I believe, going into this afternoon's game. Jason Marquis get a strong outing. You'll know if he's throwing the ball well early. He'll be getting a lot of ground balls, throwing strike one. Get a chance to use that sinking fastball. And as Len and Bob touched on, if he can start getting his off-speed pitches over to this young, aggressive Diamondback team, look for a lot of ground balls early. And I think the other key is stop waiting to score in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Try to get some runs early, get that big hit. As you saw in the first game, if they can get a couple of runs, take a little bit of pressure off that starting pitching, give the starting pitching and the bullpen a little bit of a breather. They've been terrific on this road trip. Try to score some runs early if you can.
And the guy they're facing, Yusmeiro Petit, a guy who shut out the Cubs for 6 innings on July 22nd. What do you remember about that 3-0 Arizona win?
He threw the ball. It was without question his best performance of the season since then, and prior to that has had a little bit of problems throwing strikes. I'm not sure if it was just one of those days where the stars were lined up right here. He caught a line drive right off of his chest into his glove down to the ground. But he can be awfully tough. There are some very, very good young arms on this Diamondback staff. A key, get on him early.
He looked like Cy Young. Maybe seeing him a second time will help, too.
I'm sure that will help, and if they can, jump on him early.
All right, that's going to do it from the studio. Thanks for watching Dodge Cubs pregame live. Dan and I will see you back here after the game to break it all down on Cubs postgame live. Len Casper and Bob Brentley are coming up next with Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Jason Marquis looks for win number 11, and the Cubs look for 2 out of 3 in Arizona. We'll see you after the game.
Friday night, the Cubs took it to the D-backs with some timely hitting, getting back to their winning ways. Last night, they ran into some outstanding pitching to keep them out of the win column, but they managed to hold on to their game-and-a-half lead. Today, Jason Marquis is featured in the rubber match. Another hot one here in Phoenix, Arizona, but no problem because they have that wonderful retractable roof. And we are inside Chase Field for the rubber game today. A couple of first-place teams matching up. The Cubs and the Arizona Diamondbacks here on Comcast Sportsnet. And checking in on the updated standings in the Central, the Cubs maintaining their game-and-a-half lead over Milwaukee. The Cardinals are leading late. The Reds with a win. They're hot right now, 7 out in the Central. And welcome to Cubs baseball. Bob Brentley and Len Casper with you. The Cubs wrap up a trip today, an off day tomorrow, and then a long stretch of baseball. The Cubs will have 24 games over 23 days. Let's talk about the trip. The Cubs have won 3 of the first 5. It's been marked by very solid pitching and an inconsistent offense.
An inconsistent offense, to say the least. Thank goodness the pitching has been as good as it has been. You see the 2.45 team ERA in the last 5 games. That has kept the Cubs' head above water, allowing them to win 3 games on this trip because the offense has really struggled. They've yet to hit a home run on this West Coast swing.
Well, the Cubs are hoping to get Alfonso Soriano back on Tuesday against Milwaukee. The plan is he'll be back in the lineup off the DL and will hit leadoff. And let's check in on the numbers without Soriano.
Well, it's been all right. I mean, when you lose a player the caliber of Alfonso Soriano, you have to figure there's going to be somewhat of a letdown. And the team has actually played fairly well without him. But there's no question with Alfonso back at the top of that order, instant offense in the leadoff spot. Hopefully his leg is at 100%. He'll be able to steal some bases, and what a difference that'll make to this offense.
In 1 through 4, Soriano, Terrio, Lee, and Ramirez when he is back in the lineup. Cubs need a better result this time than the last time they faced right-hander Yusmeiro Petit.
Petit is one of those guys. His stuff is not actually overwhelming, but he's very deceptive with his delivery. He's one of those guys that throws in the high 80s, low 90s, but hitters don't ever seem to get a good swing at him. Coming off a rocky outing last time out, so hopefully the D-backs will be able to break through this time.
And Jason Marquis will pitch for the Cubs, coming off a very good outing. You see his numbers his last time around against Arizona.
Well, Marquis, there's no secret to him. As always, needs to keep the ball down, get some ground balls, take advantage of this very aggressive, swinging young Diamondbacks team.
All right, coming up, it'll be Jason Marquis, who's put together a solid month of August, 2-1 in 4 starts. We'll have Cubs baseball next.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer and 0% APR financing across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye Lounge, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way, or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service, QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Lucky you. Your local True Value has everything you need to take care of life's little surprises, and you'll get in and out fast. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Replace it, repair it, restore it, enjoy it at K&K True Value Hardware, 18th and Grant Street in Bettendorf.
Hi, everyone. Luke Stuckmeyer with you. We'll get you back to Arizona for the first pitch shortly, but first, a quick sports night update. Cubs outfielder Alfonso Soriano will be activated off the disabled list on Tuesday. Luke Piniella said before today's game that Soriano will lead off and Ryan Terrio will bat second. Of course, Soriano tore that right quad running the bases on August 5th. The Cubs start, of course, a crucial series with the Brewers on Tuesday after having the day off tomorrow. Now, in case you missed it, the Bears game last night, first quarter, Rex Grossman and his sweaty paws strike again. Fumbles the snap, luckily recovers. His third fumbled snap in 2 weeks. Bears would settle for a Robbie Gould field goal. Then, second quarter, Grossman finds Bernard Berrien wide open. That's a touchdown and a 17-0 lead. 24-7, Grossman makes his one mistake of the game here. Picked off by Walt Harris. He goes 52 yards for the touchdown. 49ers missed the extra point. That made it 24-13. Grossman was pretty good, though. Bears win 31-28. They are 3-0 in the preseason.
There's going to be always things you need to work on. I mean, you're never going to be satisfied as a football player, and I'm definitely not. But when you do score 31 points and a half, it's pretty good.
I'm going to say the third preseason game, those things can happen. We had a couple fumbles last week, right? We had one tonight, making progress. That's how I see it.
And Devin Hester left last night's game in the first quarter with a shoulder bruise. He is expected to be ready for that regular season opener against the Chargers. That's going to do it from here. First pitch at Chase Field coming up next on your home for Cubs baseball, Comcast Sportsnet. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. We'll see you after the game.
Are your kids dreaming of playing in the big leagues? Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are giving them a chance. Chevy's Diamond Dreams. Simply log on to ChevyDriveChicago.com, print out an entry form, and bring it to your local Chevy dealer now. Your kid could play for Ozzie or Lou at U.S. Cellular Field or Wrigley Field. Enter by September 8th for a chance to make their Diamond Dreams come true now.
That was a nice catch, kid.
Hey, boss. Do we have Aflac?
Yeah, we have something else.
But if you're hurt and miss work, does it pay cash like Aflac does?
Nah.
Or let you spend it any way you want, like for gas and groceries?
Nah.
Or help with everyday bills like Aflac does?
Nah.
There's only one Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Nice try, boss.
Aflac.
The police often question him just because they find him interesting. His beard alone has experienced more than a lesser man's entire body. His blood smells like cologne. He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs, your local area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Ricoh, how well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and The Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com.
Great job by Peyton Stanley, 9 years old, handling our national anthem. And we are ready to go. Let's check in on the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Cubs a game and a half up on second place Milwaukee. Ryan Theriot leading off, possibly for the last time, with Soriano due back Tuesday. Jones, Lee, and Ramirez 2 through 4. Cliff Floyd in left. Craig Monroe getting his second consecutive start. He's in right. Mike Fontenot at second. Henry Blanco, his first start since May 30th. And Jason Marquis will hit ninth.
Take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively. Eric Burns in left, Chris Young in center, Jeff Salazar getting the start in right field today. The veteran Jeff Cirillo at third, Stephen Drew at short, Orlando Hudson at second. Connor Jackson with a big 2-run homer in the ball game for the D-backs last night will be playing first base. Chris Snyder behind the plate for right-hander Yusmeiro Petit. Showed you the numbers in his start against the Cubs back at Wrigley Field earlier this year. Was very good in that outing. 6 innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, didn't walk a batter. You see his total numbers on the season. He's been on that shuttle back and forth between Tucson, the AAA affiliate for the Diamondbacks, and taking the ball here today on a Sunday afternoon.
Get the umpires for you. The crew chief is Mike Riley. Born in Sioux City, Iowa. Spends his off seasons in Michigan. Kellogg, Cooper, and Fletcher on the bases. Off day tomorrow, and then it gets extremely busy as the Cubs will play 24 games over 23 days from August 28th to September 19th, including a split doubleheader in St. Louis on September 15th. So it's Ryan Theriot against Yusmeiro Petit. And we're underway, ball one. Pop foul back our way, out of play. Well, it's hot today. Right now, 97 outside, but that's not really hot here in Phoenix.
No, that's jacket weather. We caught a break, though. I don't need to tell you, Len, the first day we got in here to Arizona, it was absolutely smoking hot. Temperatures have dropped down into the low 90s the last couple days. It's actually been pretty comfortable.
It's all relative.
Yeah, well, we're hermetically sealed inside the ballpark here, and it doesn't matter how hot it is outside. It's beautiful indoors.
3 balls and a strike on Theriot. Jock Jones on deck, and then Derek Lee. Cubs were beaten 3-1 last night. And there's a good start, a leadoff walk.
Well, that may be the last one of those you see for a long time, with Soriano returning to the lineup on Tuesday. He rarely draws a base on balls, especially starting a ball game. 2 completely different styles of leadoff hitters. Soriano looking to blow the game open with 1 swing to start the ball game. Theriot looking to get on base however he can.
So Petit working from the stretch. And first he's going to fire to first. It gets out of the glove of Jackson. Terrio to second. It'll be an error on somebody. They're going to give it to Jackson. His 10th error of the year.
A routine pickoff throw. I'm not sure if Jackson lost that ball in the background. Fairly routine, about a head-high throw. Just clanks off the webbing of his glove over into foul territory. Big break for the Cubs right there. Most of Connor Jackson's defensive problems this year have been throwing the baseball. That time he missed a catch.
4 hits for Jock in the series, all coming in game 1. He went 0 for 4 in game 2. The kick and the pitch. And Chris Snyder saw something that he didn't like, so he's heading out. While we have a moment, we want to welcome all of the men and women serving around the globe watching today on the American Forces Network. And as always, we thank you for all you do for our country.
We salute you.
So no hits for the Cubs, but they have a man in scoring position, and Jock Jones hits it well, but slices it foul and out of play.
And we talk all the time about Jock Jones and his strength as a hitter. I think for both of us is the fact he drives the ball to the opposite field so well. But this particular situation is one where you'd like to see Jock try to pull that ball through the right side. Maybe get a base hit into right field, drive home Ryan Terrio. At worst, you move him to third base for Derek Lee.
The 1-1 pitch, and now it's 1-2.
Good numbers with runners in scoring position since the middle of July for Jock Jones, a .327 average.
Lee on deck. Cubs 3-2 on the trip. Identical 33 and 31 records at home and on the road. Back up the middle. Diving stop by Drew. He's going to throw to third, and he airmailed it, and it bounces into the seats, and the Cubs will get a run. Stephen Drew was trying to get a little fancy. He made the diving stop, thought he could catch Terrio at third base, and he threw it over Cirillo, and that's 2 errors in the inning. And now Jock Jones will end up at third. He gets 2 bases on that throw that went out of play.
Ground ball back up the middle. That was going to move Terrio to third base easily to begin with. Drew makes a nice play to keep the ball in, but then he tries to do a little bit too much. I mean, Ryan Terrio, he's one of the most aware ball players we've ever seen. He's not going to get caught by this play. He does this play himself. You can see Terrio was standing on the bag. Drew threw it over everybody into the stands.
Derek Lee gets under one. Jock Jones is going to tag, but this will not get it done. The shortstop, Drew, will make the catch. And Jones has to wait. So he was credited with a single and then an error on Stephen Drew, allowing that run to score and allowing Jones to get all the way to third. And the Diamondbacks have now committed 94 errors on the year.
I think everybody in baseball believes that Stephen Drew one day will be a very good major league shortstop, but you have to chalk that one up to a mistake of youthful aggression there. Just tried to do a little bit too much. It was a nice play, as I mentioned, just to knock it down, but watching the background, you might be able to see the Diamondbacks coaching staff over there. Oh, brother. Well, unfortunately, those are some of the kinds of plays you have to deal with when you have a young team. They're going to make mistakes of aggression, and it's going to be hard to live with at times.
Well, they're near the bottom of the National League in fielding percentage, helping out the Cubs here early on. Meanwhile, you got to get the second run in. Jones at third, and right now only 1 out. Diamondbacks came in tied for 12th in fielding percentage. Good play by Snyder. He had to go way to his right to snag that pitch. The Cubs already doing something against Petit that they could not do on July 22nd at Wrigley Field, and that is score a run. Two balls, two strikes.
That's something that's pretty much an organization-wide approach in a two-strike count to a hitter. You saw Chris Snyder, the catcher, nearly standing up behind home plate. They wanted to throw a high fastball, try to get Ramirez to chase, and Snyder came way up out of his crouch.
Drew is going to throw to first with Jones scoring. Ramirez gets his 79th RBI, so he's 21 away from reaching 100 again. And it's 2-0.
It looked momentarily like Drew was going to try to make a throw home on Jock Jones. JJ got a good break on contact. Drew gave him a look and then decided just to take the sure out at first base. Bang. Good break that time by Jock Jones. I don't think Drew would have had any play at home plate.
And a called strike on Cliff Floyd. That's the breaking ball, 0-2.
Steady numbers for Cliff, both at home and on the road. You'd certainly like to see those power numbers jump up there a little bit in the last month of the season.
Back on Aramis Ramirez, he has driven in at least 100 4 times in the last 6 seasons, including 119 last year. 21 away. Seems to be well on his way, and that ball is well on its way. That'll be the first home run of the trip. It's 3-0. And it's very timely because Lou Piniella was talking before the game and really yesterday about the lack of home runs on this Cubs team, particularly from the left-handed hitters. And he gets number 5 from Cliff. Much doubt.
No, not much doubt at all. Cliff's been swinging the bat well throughout this road trip, hitting a lot of hard line drives. Finally gets a little elevation on one and rides it out of here to right field.
His first home run since June 26th against the Colorado Rockies. Craig Monroe lifts this one deep. Eric Burns is back on the track right in that little corner area. Well, that's bad luck there for Craig Monroe. It's a little bit to the right. That ball might have been out. As it is, the Cubs get 3, the last of which came on a home run from Cliff Floyd. The Diamondbacks are coming up.
Bold, powerful, unique. Of all Nissan's lines, this is the one you've been waiting for. The bottom line. The once-a-year sales event with great model year-end deals on every capable Nissan sport utility vehicle and minivan. Like a $249 per month lease on either the Nissan Murano or Pathfinder. Get to your Nissan dealer now. This event ends September 4th, and that's the bottom line.
Hey, Cubs fans, tune in to Comcast Sportsnet all year to watch your team and the LoJack caught stealing play. Then visit Cubs.com/LoJack to enter to win a 2008 spring training trip. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
Summer means time for camping out, cooling off, and time for the GMC Summer Sell Down. The best time for the best selection of 07 models, like an 07 Sierra with best-in-class fuel economy and the best coverage in America.
The GMC Summer Sell Down. Get $2,000 cash back when you purchase any 07 Yukon XL, plus an additional $4,000 on select Yukon XL models in inventory since 11/11/06. Visit GMCDrive.com.
Smile, you're on Comcast Sportsnet. She's not happy because her team is down.
And he's smiling, but I don't like it.
Now the Arizona lineup brought to you by Southwest. Chris Young is in center. Hudson Burns, Connor Jackson, who had the game-winning home run last night. Drew moving up the lineup. Snyder, Jeff Salazar, his first start of the set. Jeff Cirillo, his second consecutive start at third base. And Yusmeiro Petit batting ninth. Set the defense for you here in a second. As Jason Marquis working with a 3-0 lead. Starts Chris Young with a strike. High praise for Chris Young from his teammate Orlando Hudson, talking about his defense. Puts him in the same category as a lot of the great Gold Glove winning outfielders in the game today.
Yeah, some of the names that the Orlando Hudson was throwing around: Torrey Hunter, Andrew Jones.
That one's going to go for his 27th home run. And number 8 leading off a ball game that leads the major leagues. And there may be some frustrated White Sox fans out there watching and thinking what could have been.
Well, I know the Diamondbacks are glad to have Chris Young. This is the Alfonso Soriano effect in that leadoff spot. Instant offense. One swing of the bat, the Diamondbacks right back into ball game, at least psychologically.
And to Kenny Williams' credit, the general manager of the White Sox, I mean, he pretty much admitted that with all the deals he made, that there was going to be somebody out there that he dealt away who was going to become a superstar, and Chris Young may be that guy. This kind of comes with the territory. Young was acquired from the White Sox along with Orlando Hernandez and Luis Vizcaino in exchange for right-hander Javier Vasquez and cash considerations in December of 05. .412 feet on that home run to make it 3-1. Good start here for Jason. Home run and then a walk. And you have said it throughout the weekend, if you can jump on this young Arizona team early, you feel like you have a pretty good shot. The last thing you want to do is let them right back in it. And remember how he started in San Francisco, had a rough first inning, and then he settled in.
Yeah, hopefully it won't take the entire first inning for him to settle in. He's making some good pitches. His ball appears to be moving really well. Perhaps that home run by Young just scared him out of the strike zone a little bit to Orlando Hudson.
One ball, no strikes on Eric Burns. By the way, all the runs the Cubs scored in the top of the inning were earned, even though the Diamondbacks committed 2 errors. There's a double play ball. They have to hurry, and they get it. Not easy to double up Burns because he runs so well, but it was hit right at the shortstop, Terrio, and now 2 outs.
Now, for Eric Burns, that's only the 7th time in 504 at-bats this season he's grounded into double play. Hit it hard right at Ryan Theriot. That's what you need to start a double play, that hard hit ball and a quick turn by Fontenot in the middle, and they get Burns easily at first base.
Now Connor Jackson, who hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning last night off Ted Lilly, it would prove to be a game winner. Busted bat bouncer to Mike Fontenot. And Marquis finally settles down, gets that double play ball, gets out of the inning. The leadoff homer makes it 3-1 Cubs.
Blades of Glory on August 28th.
There's a new sheriff in town.
The Gold Medal comedy is coming to DVD.
Go ahead, drink it in.
Blades of Glory. Own it on DVD August 28th.
The survival of the Greenbacks is a daily challenge.
This one was overspent. They're at risk of becoming extinct.
But you can help right now during Kia's Save the Greenbacks sales event.
You save a lot of greenbacks with Kia, like the fuel-efficient Spectra. With its impressive safety rating, you and your greenbacks are more protected than ever.
Together, we can save the Greenbacks.
Hurry and get 2.9% APR plus 1,000 bonus cash on the Spectra.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices on the world's best brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich.
Well, this heat's not letting up, folks, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
Day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
3-1 Cubs as we head to the top half of the 2nd inning. We've talked about the return of Alfonso Soriano on Tuesday. We asked Lou Piniella about it earlier this morning.
He's been working hard. I mean, he's on this road trip here in San Francisco. He worked hard. Here in Arizona, the same. And he's ready to go. I mean, we could wait another week, but he's not going to get any better than he is.
That's Lou Piniella on his leadoff hitter, Alfonso Soriano. So it'll be good to have him back for that huge series against the Brewers. Cubs will try to add on here. 3-1, each team getting at least one in the 1st inning. Cubs got 3, and the Diamondbacks with that leadoff homer from Chris Young. And as always, we'll keep you up to date on all the other games of note as Young will drift into the alley out in left center and retire Fontenot. Milwaukee leading at San Francisco 4-1 as they try to salvage the final game of that series. Dave Bush, who's become one of the Brewers' most consistent starters right now, getting the better of Tim Lincecum. It was tremendous against the Cubs his last time around, working into the 9th inning with a shutout before the Cubs got to him and beat him. Good to see Henry Blanco back in the lineup. First time off the DL. He's been in the starting lineup. Missed a lot of time over 2.5 months with the cervical herniated disc in his neck. So this is his first start since May 30th.
And that noise you heard was the Hank White fan club jumping up and down in their living rooms.
Oh, and they're excited now. That's a gapper for Henry. He's had 2 excellent plate appearances, a successful suicide squeeze as a pinch hitter on Wednesday, and now double number 3 of the year. Sunday brunch, I think, today for the Hank White fan club.
I'll tell you, in an inning and a third, the Cubs have had more good swings against Petit today than they did in 6 innings back at Wrigley Field. A couple of hard hit balls, including this double in the gap in left center by Henry Blanco. I think you'll probably see Jason Marquis swinging away right here with a 2-run lead early. I think Lou's going to turn him loose, give him an opportunity to drive in a run right here.
And he swings and misses. Cardinals just beat Atlanta 4-1. Popped up near the plate for the catcher. Snyder discards his mask and makes a catch. And the Reds are not a huge threat right now, but they have won 6 in a row. Beating Florida today 9-3. And the Cubs are still going to see the Reds several more times. In fact, they'll finish the season at Great American Ballpark. So they're becoming a pest in the National League Central. Cubs have 6 more games against the Reds, all to come in the final 2 weeks of the season.
And we know about the Reds offensively. The problem they're going to have down the stretch if they expect to creep back into this race. They're one of only 2 teams in baseball with a team ERA over 5. The other one is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So they're going to need to pitch a lot better or score a whole lot of runs.
Well, after playing a 4-game series at Pittsburgh, the Reds will go to St. Louis for 3. In early September, they'll see the Brewers. They have 6 games against Milwaukee and 6 against the Cubs in the final month. Close play at second, but Henry just got back in. Remember, a key play the other day in San Francisco, Darrell Ward was picked off.
Henry didn't have an excessive lead, but almost got caught flat-footed there. Orlando Hudson sneaking in from his second base position, and Petit on the mound showing some quick feet.
Darrell Ward on Thursday was picked off by the catcher at second base.
You know, actually, that kind of works in my eyes as a little bit of a positive, a little bit of a scouting report on Yusmeiro Petit. You know, he didn't pick Henry off, but he made it close and showed that he's got quick feet out there. Now for the base stealers who may be tempted to try to go to third, they know that they've got a pitcher on the mound that can wheel around and make that throw to second in a hurry.
Fly ball out into right center for Chris Young. He makes a couple of grabs in the inning. Cubs waste the 1-out Henry Blanco double. They lead 3-1 midway in the second.
You are cordially invited to the event from Lexus. The summer sales event where you'll find unexpected values on the Lexus you've always wanted. But like summer, it won't last forever. The event, now through September 4th. See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Amstel Light. You can lean on me. Live tastefully.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it famous.
Cub fans And still looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year? Visit Cubs.com and click on Replay, the official secondary market site for the Chicago Cubs. See a Cubs game from the best seats at Wrigley Field. Check out Replay at Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Deep breath for Jason Marquis, and he now works against Stephen Drew. Strike one. Now a laced foul down to the right. Drew, a first-round pick out of Florida State in 2004. He signed the following May. And prior to joining the Diamondbacks, he played in the independent Atlantic League. He's not the first Drew to play in an independent league before signing. His older brother J.D. did the same thing. J.D. was a second overall pick in 1997 by the Phillies, but he did not sign. Drafted again in the first round in '98 by St. Louis. One-two pitch, pulled, foul. It's a foul ball. Wow. Okay. Now, Gene Simmons apparently gained a little weight.
I didn't know it was any kind of day here at the ballpark. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Aging rock star day here at the ballpark.
Not sure if that was the guy from Toto next to him.
Good call. I was trying to figure out who he looked like.
Rosanna, Rosanna. And Drew hit by a pitch.
Look, they tried to throw that off the body sinker, and Jason started it way too far inside, clipped Stephen Drew on the foot. Ricochets up, hits him in the wrist. Does that count as two hit by pitch or just one?
I think just one.
Okay. One of the rare occasions that the catcher didn't get thumped with a hit by pitch. It almost always ricochets off the batter and gets a piece of the catcher. Drew with 5 stolen bases on the season, yet to be caught stealing. That's one thing about this Diamondbacks ball club. They don't run a lot, 76 stolen bases on the season, but they've only been caught 18 times. They really pick their spots well. And you have to believe with Henry Blanco behind the plate today and the fact that Jason Marquis unloads that ball pretty quickly on the mound, it's going to be a tall task for anybody to try to run on Henry today.
Snyder is 2 for 5 against Marquis. Dribbles it to Fontenot as one play, and that's first base. So 1 out in the inning, a runner at second, and it'll be Jeff Salazar who gets the nod in right. Justin Upton 2 for 3 last night on his 20th birthday.
Ball was just hit too slowly to try to get the lead runner. Fondo took a peek but realized he had no play and just throws on to D-Lee for the easy out.
Salazar, left-handed hitter. On waivers from the Rockies before the season began. Update tomorrow. Alfonso Soriano scheduled to be back in the lineup Tuesday night versus Milwaukee. We'll have that game right here on Comcast Sportsnet at 7 o'clock. Fontenot knocks it down, picks up the ball, throws to first, safe. Great effort by Mike, but he just couldn't get it there in time, and Salazar has an infield hit. The key there was to stop that ball from getting into the outfield. If it does, it's a run.
You're absolutely right. Knock that ball down. Sometimes you'll see the catcher come out in front of home plate with that runner at second base and tell the infielders, make sure you knock it down, make sure you keep it in front, and that's exactly what Fontenot does. Couldn't field it cleanly, but at least he knocks the ball down, holds that runner at third base, and still an opportunity here to possibly turn a double play and get out of this inning.
Very, very close at first. And here's Jeff Cirillo, his 14th big league campaign. Good to see Henry Blanco back in the lineup. A terrific defensive backstop. There was some concern at one point that he might have to have surgery on the neck, and that could have made the situation career-threatening. Base hit to right, and it's 3-2. Jeff Cirillo picks up his third RBI as a Diamondback. Larry Rothschild will come out. I'll tell you what, Bob, the Jeff Cirillo acquisition on waivers is starting to look pretty big for the Diamondbacks because of the struggles lately of Mark Reynolds.
I think it's going to turn out to be a great pickup for them. I mean, Jeff Cirillo is not a power hitter. He's not going to drive the ball out of the ballpark very often, but he's a very savvy veteran offensive player. We talked about him last night, his ability to find the hole defensively and structure his swing to try to hit the ball toward that hole to increase his chances of getting a base hit, and the fact that he's been around as long as he has. He's one of those veteran guys that's seen it all, done it all. He should be a big benefit to this young ball club.
Now, my understanding is in the case of Cirillo and Byung-Hyun Kim, the Diamondbacks put in waiver claims, which teams do a lot, but many times the original teams will pull those players back. Well, in the case of Cirillo and Kim, the two teams said, go ahead, you can have them. And Kim, by the way, just re-signed with Florida, the team that let him go earlier.
And I believe he pitched today against Cincinnati. I think he was the scheduled starter in the ball game today. Petit trying to put down a sacrifice bunt with an out in the inning, move both runners into scoring position. Anytime you have a runner at second base in a bunt situation, it's an automatic pickoff at second base if the batter bunts through the ball.
Bunted pretty hard, and they'll get the out at third. The relay is late. A good play by Fontenot on the bounce throw by Ramirez. Kim did pitch today, Bob, but in relief, an inning and a third, and did not give up a hit or a run for Florida.
Nice athletic defense from Jason Marquis. Quickly pounces on that ball, easily gets the lead runner at third base, but there's not enough time to complete that double play.
Down by Henry. Phil Rogers with a terrific article in today's Chicago Tribune about Chris Young. In fact, Phil is here covering this series. And Rogers quoting Kenny Williams back in the spring of last year. Quote, one of these deals is going to come back to haunt us. It's part of the price that we pay to try to win on a consistent basis. Not just every now and then. And I know that's going to happen. There's going to be a guy who shows up in the highlights all the time, making me sick to my stomach. Chris could be that guy. That's Ken Williams to Phil Rogers.
I'll tell you, as a general manager, you have to do what you have to do. If you've got a ball club you think can win right now, you've got some young prospects in your organization, and those guys become trading chips to get the pieces you need to hopefully get to the postseason. It's going to happen to every organization. I mean, when you look to make a trade, you don't call a team and say, hey, give me some of your bad players in the minor leagues. You're always going to try to get the projectable prospects that the other organization has so that hopefully a year or 2 or 3 down the road, you've got some major league ready players. Chris Young just looks like he's going to be one of those guys, though.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Low and outside on a sinker. Marquis beat the Diamondbacks at Wrigley Field. He's 2-3 lifetime. 2.77 versus Arizona. Drilled deep to left again and gone. He's done it again. Chris Young in the first 2 innings has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. And Ken Williams' stomach is feeling sicker, and Cub fans feeling the same way right now.
Right, Henry moved out on the outside corner. That sinker tailed back toward the heart of the plate. That's the same area where Craig Monroe's high fly ball died just short of that little area. That time the line drive by Young, able just to clear the yellow stripe.
Just like that, the Cubs trail 5-3. You know, he was 0 for 7 in the series going into today's action. He had reached on a walk but was caught stealing. That was it. And he has busted out big time this afternoon. Ball, 2 strikes on Orlando Hudson. The pitch. See Mike Riley telling the scoreboard operator it's 2-2. They had 2-1 on the board, but we have it right. Our crew all over it.
That never happens at Wrigley.
Well, Rick Fuse is the best in the business.
Well, I would imagine somewhere in this ballpark there's a control panel that operates everything electrical in this ballpark, and if there's one guy running that board, he's a busy man.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A lot of damage done. They get 1 on the Cirillo RBI single, and then 3 on Chris Young's line drive home run, his second of the day. It's 5-3.
It's Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. With so many great models to choose from, it's the right time to buy. Right now, get $500 cash back on any Corolla, or lease a Corolla LE for just $179 a month. You'll also find great deals on the famously fuel-efficient RAV4. Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. Going on now.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way, or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hot under the collar? Don't sweat it. come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
You can bring a part of the ocean into your home. Aquatic Environments will walk you step by step in the design, building, and installation of your own aquatic environment.
Adam Marietta with Aquatic Environments. I used to think advertising on MediaCom would be expensive, but it's really not. It was more affordable than any other medium that we've used in the past. On Media is very easy to deal with. Their salespeople and their editing department are extremely good at what they do.
Well, Arizona, 5 unanswered runs after the Cubs got 3 in the first inning. So now it's 5-3. Jock Jones with a single and a run in the opening inning. Well, the Diamondbacks wore white uniforms on Friday. Alternate black tops last night, and they go with the Sedona red today. They'll probably wear gray tomorrow in San Diego.
Yeah, they've got a big 4-game series coming up in San Diego.
And the Padres lost in Philadelphia 4-2. So the Diamondbacks lead right now is 2.5. San Diego's 4-game win streak coming to an end. Padres don't have to win the division to get in. Right now they're leading the wild card. But with the Phillies winning, they're 3 back of the Padres in that race. We haven't had to talk about the wild card lately because the Cubs are in first. Jones thrown out by Cirillo. On Wednesday, August 29th at 7:05, the Cubs host Milwaukee at beautiful Wrigley Field. The first 20,000 fans will get a scratch and win card, and 500 random winners will receive an autographed Derek Lee photo. Compliments of Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. Keep those cards for second chance drawings. Chris Young going back on it. That one almost got out. Looked like it hit the railing right below the yellow line. Lee toward third. Quaney's going to send him. The relay throw to the plate. And it's an inside the park home run. Derek Lee rounds the bases. Boy, was that exciting.
Oxygen.
I can tell you what, that's not his first. I know he hit one with Florida a few years ago. That's the most exciting play in baseball right there.
Boy, you could just see it coming from our vantage point up here in the press box when that ball caromed back toward left center field. Eric Burns was nowhere to be seen. I mean, the ball was hit to the gap a little bit to the right of center field, and he did what most left fielders would do. He stood there, watched the play, started to move into backup third base, and then had to reverse field and try to get over there and get that ball in time. And D. Lee chugged around the bases for his 15th bomb of the year.
First Cub to hit an inside the park home run since Sammy Sosa against Tony McKnight of the Pirates on October 6th, 2001. It's been a long time.
Now Cliff Floyd needs to tell Derek, hey, listen, just hit it over the fence. It's a lot easier. You don't have to run as hard. Your uniform doesn't get dirty.
Popped up by Ramirez, who slams his bat down in disgust after popping out to Hudson.
Get one more look at it. Fastball grooved right down the middle of the plate. D. Lee knew he hit it well We talked about those nooks and crannies out there between the 413 marks in center field. Ball hit right off the edge of the railing and a violent carom back toward left center field. And boy, that's a long way around there.
Popped up by Floyd. And it's caught by Snyder in foul ground. Derek Lee with an inside the park home run. Draws the Cubs to within one. It's 5-4 in the third.
We're not going to make it.
Can you get us to the airport in 15 minutes?
Cheaper than a change fee if we miss our flight.
As with all airlines, it may cost more to rebook your flight, but on Southwest, we never charge an additional fee.
You are now free to move about the country.
With every step, it gets better. Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered 4 times for smoother flavor.
Try Arby's new toasted subs. Whether it's the French dip and twist, the classic Italian, turkey bacon club, or the Philly beef, they're toasted to perfection, and they'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Agility captured by the world's most advanced 4-wheel active steering system. Now cornering is more precise, handling more responsive. The all-new 330 horsepower Infinity G Coupe. Intensity captured.
Tuesday, it's a Central Division showdown on the north side as the Cubs go head-to-head with the Brewers at high def, followed by Cubs post-game live. Cubs Brewers, Tuesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Four now. Eric Burns pops it up and back out of play. I knew Derek had hit another inside the park home run. I was just going through his game logs on baseballreference.com. When he was with Florida on April 12, 2003, he hit 2 home runs. One went over the wall against Russ Ortiz, and then he hit an inside the park home run off Jason Marquis. April 12, 2003. So he hits another one today. So I'm sure at some point Derek and Jason either have had that conversation or will have that conversation. Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way.
Boy, what an exciting play. And you know what? That's why you have the quirks like they do here in center field, because that does not happen if it doesn't hit that area right below the yellow stripe. And the ball can carry him in a funny direction.
Well, and even if you think about it, Len, we've talked about this throughout this series, the way the yellow line goes straight up out in right and left center field, and you really have to hit it high to get it out of here to straightaway center. Yeah, that area where Derek hit the ball right above that signage on the wall, it hit one of those rails and ricocheted to the left. You can clearly see how low the yellow line is to the right there. That would have been an easy home run at most ballparks that have a uniform fence across center field. You see that look on Derek's face when he slid across home plate, almost a sheepish grin.
Just priceless. The Cubs hoping that Jason Marquis can have a nice clean third inning. Gave up a home run to Young in the first. Allowed 4 more to score, including a 3-run homer to Young in the second. get all dressed up to come to ball games here in Arizona.
Yeah, it's an event. I saw some comments from some of the Diamondbacks players about the split of fans here at Chase Field, and one of the players estimated it was about 60% Diamondbacks fans and 40% Cub fans. But I'll tell you what, the Cub fans have represented themselves well in this series. It was a playoff atmosphere here last night. It was loud, it was raucous, and that is not normally the case in this ballpark. It's like playing in a hospital waiting room. Very quiet unless they put noise up on the board.
This will be a long run for Jock, and he won't get to it in time. Cliff is in the vicinity as well, but Eric Burns able to deposit that ball into shallow left center for a base hit. So they had put the leadoff man on in every inning. In the first, it was a home run.
Steals by month for Eric Burns, our low jack caught stealing report. Not a replay, a report. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Connor Jackson 0 for 1. They're going to keep a close watch on Burns. There goes Burns. He got a good jump. Kicks away, and he didn't see it. Thankfully, if Burns sees that ball immediately, he's at third base. Picks up his 36th stolen base.
Burns with a pretty good jump. Not a great jump, just a pretty good jump. Accelerates all the way into his head first slide at second base. Fontenot just tries to block that ball. Looked like it hit him on the back leg there. He missed it with his glove. Ricocheted out into shallow left, but as you mentioned, Burns didn't know where the ball went, had to hold it second. Well, unfortunately, this sets up well for the Diamondbacks with Connor Jackson at the plate. Most of the damage he's done in this series, with the exception of his two-run homer last night. Most of the balls he's put into play have been to the right side of the field.
Busted bat pop-up, sending Terrio into the outfield grass to record the out. Here's Stephen Drew. Grind for Marquis. Excellent August numbers coming in, 2-1 with a 360 at 4 starts. And good to see for a pitcher who has had a history of second half struggles. Another pop-up. This time it's Floyd. Even with the good month of August, Marquis' earned run average since the break is .510. Marquis had a 367 in the first half. Now tries to get out of the inning by facing Chris Snyder and starts him with a strike.
Busy day already for Henry back there behind the plate. He's had to block several pitches in the dirt. Stolen base attempt. He's been busy offensively as well, doubling into the gap in left center.
Slider. The slider to Snyder. This could be trouble. Jones caught it. What a catch by Jock Jones. Saved a run. Nobody happier than Jason Marquis. It's still 5-4.
Stop up. Where should we sit?
Right at first base. Wait, how about along the third baseline? Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets.
Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out.
Peanuts. Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate. Let's go for it.
StubHub, your choice, your ticket, your experience. StubHub!
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, you can get more than just some sun. Get more horsepower than any import under 18 grand. And still get 33 on the highway. Get more horsepower and better highway fuel economy than Scion TC. And with every 2007 Pontiac, you get more coverage than anyone in America.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, choose 0 APR or $3,000 total customer cash on any 2007 Torrent. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
The police often question him just because they find him interesting. His beard alone has experienced more than a lesser man's entire body. His blood smells like cologne. He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Beginning September 9th, the Bears are back from hibernation, and only Comcast Sportsnet will have the most in-depth coverage of the monsters of the Midway. It all begins September 9th, only on Comcast Sportsnet, a Chicago Bears fan's best friend this season.
What a great running catch to end that bottom half of the inning by Jock Jones. Streaking across from his center field position, Craig Monroe sliding behind him. I think either guy possibly could have made this play, but Jock Jones able to make the catch, tumbles forward, holds it up triumphantly. Nice play. I didn't think either one of them were going to get in the vicinity when that ball was hit. It sounded like Chris Snyder broke his bat, hit it off the end, was dying as it got out there to right center, but great effort by both Cubs outfielders.
We've seen a little bit of everything, haven't we, early on? It's been a wild start. We're only in the fourth. It's 5-4 Arizona. We've seen an inside the park home run. And that's a fair ball past Cirillo. Craig Monroe will have his first extra base hit as a Cub. He had a rough night in his first start last night. 0 for 4. He left 5 on base. But he drilled one to the warning track for an out in the first inning today and now picks up a double.
Well, it's still very early on in the Cubs career for Craig Monroe, but we were talking about it after his first at bat in this ballgame. That ball really seems to jump off his bat. He's got one of those live swings, really finishes quickly with his wrist. The ball just seems to jump off of his bat.
We've seen Chris Young hit 2 home runs for the Diamondbacks. It's been very busy offensively for both teams. 2 errors in the first inning by the home team.
Now it's Mike Fontenot with the job to do here on the 2-0 count. Figures to get a fastball from Petit. Like to move that ball to the right side, get Monroe to third base.
Mike's been a lot better at Wrigley Field. 309, came in at 264 on the road. Here's the pitch. 3-0. Blanco next. Petit is 6 feet 230 pounds. From Maracaibo, Venezuela. There's ball 4. Time now for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
When was the last time the Cubs had 4 starters with at least 10 wins in a season? Brian Price out. Well, the Cubs right now have 3 starters with at least 10 wins. Juan Cruz, former Cub, is up. Zambrano with 14. Lilly has 13. Marquis with 10. And the other 2 guys each have 7. Hill and Marshall. Well, you could think about bunting him over with a strong hitting pitcher on deck, but this seems like the kind of day where you want to try to hang some crooked numbers.
Yeah, it doesn't look like either team is willing to give too much offensively here in this ball game. I got to believe Henry's going to be hacking right here. The other possibility, depending on how Larry and Lou feel about Jason Marquis and his ability to go forward in this game and be effective. Hey, you could bunt Blanco right here and pinch hit for Jason Marquis, but there's nobody warming up in the Cubs bullpen right now, so that's not even an option.
The 1-0 pitch hit in the air, sending Young over into right center. And Monroe's going to hold at second base. Probably a good idea. Chris Young bounced a pretty good throw near third base. So that's the first out, and it brings up Marquis. Petit was acquired from Florida in late March on the 26th in exchange for Jorge Julio and cash considerations. And he's kind of bounced around here. Replaced Randy Johnson in the rotation, then was replaced by Byung-Hyun Kim, and now Petit is back. Kim is gone, back with Florida. Speaking of back, Randy Johnson with another back operation, so he's done for the year. And man, they could have used a healthy Randy Johnson big time. First place club and a young team.
Quick visit between Marquis and Mike Quaddy. Marquis may have been doing that on his own. Tried to bunt that ball. Maybe Mike Quaddy wants him to go ahead and swing away here.
Showing bunt again. Pushes it toward third. The pitcher will get it. And Marquis hustling, thrown out by just a step.
Nicely executed sac bunt by Jason Marquis. Just deadened that ball on the left side of the field. The only play Petit had was to go on to first base. Now Ryan Theriot with an opportunity to possibly give the Cubs a lead with a base hit. Good hustle by Jason Marquis. He very nearly beat that out at first base. Petit took a little extra time on his crow hop and made it a close play at first.
Well, let me ask you this. Does it depend for you, if you're in that manager's seat right now, who your leadoff hitter is? I say that because Soriano coming back on Tuesday. Back to the pitcher. Tell you what, I'll hold off. I'll ask you this question when we come back. Cubs strand 2. It's still 5-4 Arizona.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and now we're making it easy for you to choose your new Chevy. Just click and go to find great offers on 07 cars, trucks, and SUVs online 24/7. But you've got to decide. Then get to your dealer before yours is gone at the Chevy Model Year-End event. Use $3,000 cash back to get a Chevy crossover, an 07 Equinox LS front-wheel drive starting at $19,865. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com, then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers.
Well, this heat's not letting up, folks, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
At the end of a long, hot day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Time now to answer the Aflac trivia question. My mind always goes back to 1969 for any of these sorts of questions. The last time the Cubs had 4 starters with 10-plus wins in a season, but you don't have to go back that far. Actually, 2003. Mark Pryor, Kerry Wood, Matt Clement, and Carlos Zambrano, in fact, all had at least 13 wins. There's Big Z. It's been a struggle for him here in the month of August. 5-4 Diamondbacks. So here's my question. The Cubs had Marquis Bunting to put 2 in scoring position with 2 outs for Terrio. And my question was, if Alfonso Soriano's your leadoff hitter, maybe more of an all or nothing proposition, versus Ryan Terrio, who's more of a singles hitter, do you think about letting your pitcher swing away in that spot if you have a different leadoff guy?
Well, for me, no. I like the sac bunt just because of the danger of Jason Marquis grounding into a double play, and then you don't even get your leadoff hitter to the plate with runners in scoring position. So for me, I think Luke played it exactly right.
Ball foul out of play.
And because Soriano's reputation precedes him, there's no guarantee that the Diamondbacks would have even pitched to Alfonso Soriano in a similar situation if they had first base open. Now, of course, the right-handed Petit would have to deal with the left-handed hitting Jock Jones at that point, but I think Alfonso Soriano's reputation in the game is such that teams are going to take the bat out of his hands whenever they can.
And when Soriano jumps back into the lineup, Terrio will hit second. At least that's the plan. What are we doing here? Checking the wrists?
Wrist size, yeah. He's trying to find anything to do till he gets back in the lineup. Boy, I'll tell you, it's amazing, Len, how long the day can be when you're on the disabled list. You know, normally you come to the ballpark, you've got your regular routine and your regular rhythm. Now they're gun show. Yeah, but for Soriano, you know, he's done his rehab work. He's worked out in front of the trainer and Lou, and then he just has to sit and watch like the rest of the fans. Well, like some of the fans.
We have to find out what's going on here. Some sort of costume party. Two and two on Salazar. Hitting 7th, Cirillo, and then Petit. Base hit. To the left of Lee and to the right of Fontenot. Well, the Giants have tied it up 4-4 in San Francisco. At 1 in the 6th and 2 in the 7th to even it up. As the Cubs have learned, if you are going to compete for the playoffs, be a first place club, you need a lot of contributions from your entire roster. And see what the Diamondbacks are getting today. Jeff Salazar in a rare start is 2 for 2. Jeff Cirillo with an RBI hit and a run. So some part-time players contributing. Long pause by Marquis before the pitch. Check swing. Ball 2. You don't want to face Chris Young with anybody on base. He has already hit 2 home runs. Has 28 on the year, 51 RBIs. Part of the reason for that is he came in hitting just 136 with runners in scoring position. And Yusmeiro Petit is not in the on-deck circle. It's Micah Owings. He hit a home run Friday. Second straight start in which he had homered.
In fact, he's homered 3 times in his last 5 at-bats. The last 2 at-bats of his ball game against the Braves, and then against the Diamondbacks, or rather against the Cubs here in the first game of the series.
There's ball 4. Now, this is one of those moves, hitting Owings for Petit, that, you know, Bob Melvin might not have made with a young club if his team were in 4th place. Because right now the home team has the lead 5-4. And Petit cannot qualify for the win. He can't get through 5 innings. But he's determining that this is a time to add on some runs. Wirtz is up in the Cubs pen.
Yeah, we have long passed the point of trying to build guys' confidence and make them feel like they're a part of it and add to their resume at the major league level. Bob Melvin's trying to win a division title. And this is an interesting move here. Micah Owings, 4 home runs on the season, only 1 sacrifice bunt. I'm sure he's very adept at bunting as well, but I have to believe there's a little confusion right now as to what to expect defensively. Did he send this pitcher up there to put down a sacrifice bunt and save his bench players for later in the game, or did he send him up there to swing away and try to hit one out of the ballpark?
Well, the corner infielders will treat him as if he's trying to bunt, and he's showing it right now. The throw goes to third. They get one there, but Ramirez dropped the ball. I don't know if he gets Owings at first. They do get the out at third. The ball got out as he was making the exchange. Well, Henry showing that cat-like quickness from behind the plate.
Well, the second time in this ballgame, the Cubs have been able to cut down the lead runner in a sacrifice bunt situation. Henry out of the chute quickly, gets it to Ramirez in good shape, but Rami just couldn't find the handle, trying to throw across the diamond and complete a double play. That's a sign that you see Andy Fletcher, the third base umpire, making there, indicating that he lost the ball when he was taking it out of the glove.
Chris Young takes ball 1. Career 2-homer games for Young.
And that's where you'd like to consistently place your pitches, whether it be a sinking fastball, a changeup, or a slider. Young has a little bit of a lift-pull swing. Most of his home runs have come to straightaway left field. He wants a ball from the middle of the plate, and he can lift in the air to left field. You have a chance to get him to roll over one if you keep it out there on that outside corner.
He has now homered 9 times over his last 12 games. Swing and a miss, 2-2. the rock star themed event that's going on here is in conjunction with Grace's Place to benefit the Diamondbacks Foundation, or charity. Mark Grace, a big charity event, so that's why we're seeing a lot of people dressed up as rock stars.
That explains.
Yeah.
I'd have worn my leather pants and my leather vest today if I'd have known that.
I'm kind of glad you forgot about it, to be honest with you. Swing and a miss. Young strikes out. That's a big one for Marquis.
Tell you, leather's great in the desert. There's Gracie and Darren Sutton.
Way up top, out and left.
I've never seen a broadcast nest in that particular location. We mentioned it the first game of the series. We used to do some games from the pool in right center field and also in the restaurant up above in left field, but never up there in the bleachers in the upper deck.
Now a tough hitter in Orlando Hudson. Batting 300 right on the button. See, he's kind of tightening his gloves by pulling them up a little bit, but he doesn't have the Velcro straps working. I don't know if that's a fashion statement or just comfort. But I'll tell you one thing, if Marquis were to throw a pitch that hits that strap, I wonder what they would call.
We're going to have an argument if that happens. I mean, it's entirely conceivable on an inside pitch that Hudson could get out of the way, but the ball could possibly clip one of those straps. I mean, technically, he's out of uniform because he's not wearing the gloves the way they're intended to be worn, so I would have to believe Mike Riley would make him stay in there. And I'm sure it's more a fashion statement than anything else.
Did Mel Hall ever get hit in the batting gloves in the back pocket?
Well, I'm sure there were a lot of pitchers that would have liked to have tried to hit Mel Hall in the batting gloves in the back pocket, but not to the best of my knowledge.
His trademark look. Edgar Gonzalez up in the bullpen. Will likely be the next pitcher for Arizona. Called strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning as Arizona strands two. It's 5-4 D-backs.
It's Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. With so many great trucks to choose from, it's the right time to buy. Get 0% APR on a powerful new Tundra, or choose $2,500 cash back. Get $2,500 cash back on a 4Runner, or lease a 4Runner for just $299 a month. Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. Going on now.
If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
This Labor Day weekend, the place to be is the Rock Island Grand Prix. It's an experience that you've got to see to believe. As high-performance go-karts race through the streets of Rock Island's downtown arts and entertainment district at speeds upwards of 100 miles an hour, 1 inch off the ground and into a hairpin turn. On Saturday night, the Venetian Lighted Boat Parade lights up the Mississippi. Then on Sunday, race through the streets on a simulator and perhaps win a prize. The Rock Island Grand Prix, it's the place to be this Labor Day weekend.
Great food, great family event. It's a good time.
Baseball is brought to you in part by Midas. Visit Midas for brakes, expert auto maintenance, and tires. And by the all-new full-size 2007 Toyota Tundra.
Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive player features, team analysis, Wrigley Field news, and Cubs minor league coverage. Subscriptions begin at just $24.95. Call 1-800-248-9467 or visit Cubs.com to order Vineline today. Right-hander Edgar Gonzalez is on to work.
Gonzalez with a sinker, slider, an occasional curve, occasional changeup. Mostly a power pitcher, tries to keep the ball down, much like Jason Marquis. When he's good, he gets a lot of ground balls.
For Arizona. And downstairs on Jock Jones. Hey, congratulations to the Peoria Chiefs. In particular, lefties James Russell and Chris Siegfried, along with right-handers Matt Maradeo and Jose Seda. They combined for a no-hitter against Beloit. It was last night, the no-hitter, the first by the Chiefs at O'Brien Field. First no-hitter by the Chiefs since April 20th, 2005, when Sean Gallagher was at big league time this year. Walt Nolan and John Hunton combined to no-hit the Colonels in Cedar Rapids. Siegfried got the win. 2 1/3 scoreless innings of relief. James Russell started, went 3.
Also,
Jackson to take it
for the Chiefs in that ball game. A big day for Wellington Castillo, the catcher. Not only does he catch a no-hitter, but hit his 11th home run of the season to give the Chiefs all the runs they would need in the ball game.
Well, last time up, Derek Lee with an inside the park home run, just to the right of center. Came all the way around as it took a strange carom off the little ledge right below the yellow stripe.
Now, you knew I'd find a way to work a catcher into that no-hitter conversation.
Of course. Josh Vitters picked up his first professional hit with the Mesa Cubs. They took on the Brewers and lost 6-5 in the Arizona Rookie League. Today they play the Mariners. How do you like the do of Edgar Gonzalez? Kind of has that look where he just takes his hat off and the back of his hair comes off with it.
He's got a lot of do there. Almost a don't.
The 1-2 to Lee. Now 2-2.
I guarantee you he wouldn't have his hair that long if the Diamondbacks played outdoors here in the Valley of the Sun.
Hudson was shaded up the middle, and he just gets Lee. Derek hit the ball hard, but thrown out by the Gold Glover, Orlando Hudson. That's all positioning on that play.
Yeah, it really is. That appeared to be a base hit headed for center field, but because Hudson was shaded 3 or 4 steps up the middle of the field, he only had to move a couple steps to his right, plant the foot, and D. Lee hustling down the line makes it very close over there at first.
Well, what you don't want to have happen here is have the Cubs get shut down by this Diamondbacks bullpen. Something they did to the Cubs at Wrigley Field. They really stymied them in the final 2 games of that series. 8 shutout innings. And the Cubs got 3 off Dustin Nippert in the 9th inning in game 1 of this series as they won 6-2. And last night, Lyon and Valverde combined for 2 shutout innings. A 1-2 outside.
Hey, one guy that's really looking forward to the off day tomorrow, at least I assume he is the guy at the plate right now. Ramos Ramirez has really struggled in this series. Effort has been a little bit lacking. I'm not sure if physically he's out of gas a little bit or mentally he needs a day off.
Candy hop for Drew, and that's that as the Cubs go down quietly. 1-2-3 for the first time. Halfway home, 5-4 Arizona.
Flying out of Chicago Midway for business? Southwest Airlines isn't just for short flights anymore. We offer nonstop flights to LA, DC, Phoenix, Houston, Long Island, Philly, and dozens of other destinations. You wanted more nonstop flights for business, so we're flying more nonstops than ever before.
You are now free to move about the country.
Amstel Light. You can lean on me. Live tastefully. Summer means time for camping out, cooling off, and time for the GMC Summer Sell Down. The best time for the best selection of 07 models, like an 07 Sierra with best-in-class fuel economy and the best coverage in America.
The GMC Summer Sell Down. Get $2,000 cash back when you purchase any 07 Yukon XL, plus an additional $4,000 on select Yukon XL models in inventory since 11/11/06. Visit GMCDrive.com.
Time now for a GMC Sports Update.
Hi, everyone. Luke Stuckmeyer in our downtown Chicago studio. We'll get you back to Arizona in just a moment. But first, good news on Alfonso Soriano. He will be back in the Cubs lineup on Tuesday. Lou Piniella said before today's game that Soriano will lead off and Ryan Theriot will bat second against the Brewers after an off day tomorrow. Now back to more Cubs baseball with Len and Bob. Guys, great news.
Thanks, Luke. You know, getting Soriano back certainly will help. The starting pitching needs to be really as good as it's been throughout this trip up until today. And the only non-quality start before today came from Carlos Zambrano, and it won't be a quality start, unfortunately, for Jason Marquis.
It's been a struggle with his command today. He's missed his spots with regularity. And the ironic thing is he either misses a strike zone by a wide margin or he catches too much plate. He doesn't have that fine command where he's able to nibble at the corners like he normally does.
This is a game of survival for him. He's just trying to keep his team in it, give him a chance. Henry makes a catch. Burns is out. But Soriano, yeah, coming back just in time with that enormous 3-game tilt. Last time the Cubs and Brewers will meet up in the regular season, and Milwaukee in danger of being swept in San Francisco. It's now 5-4 as the Giants have taken the lead in the 8th inning.
Bring in Rob Nen. Oh, wait a minute.
Brad Hennessy. Rich Aurelia with an RBI single, giving the Giants the advantage. They were down 4-1 at one point. It's 1-2 on Jackson. So they're now in the top of the ninth. And Steve Klein, I believe, is starting that inning.
You know, Lynn, getting back to Alfonso Soriano just for a moment, this being the first time he's been on the disabled list in his career, I'm going to be a little fearful if I'm the Brewers and the rest of the National League when he comes back. When you take something away from a guy who has such a passion for the game the way Soriano does, he is liable to come back with a vengeance.
Fontenot the catch.
You know, hopefully he won't try to do too much. I mean, obviously there are going to be some physical restrictions. I don't think you're going to see him legging out any inside the park home runs right away. May not steal as often as you'd like to see him, but just his presence in that lineup, his energy that he brings to the ball club. Hopefully he gets off to a great start on Tuesday and just carries it right through the end of the season.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, they have not started the ninth yet, and Steve Klein finished the eighth, so he is out now. Brad Hennessy will begin the ninth, trying to pick up the save. So we'll keep you posted. Miller, Hardy, and a pinch hitter due up for the Brewers. Derek Lee will go get it. Marquis covering first. What a throw. 6 straight sent down by Jason Marquis. As he settles in, the Cubs need some runs. They're down 1.
Announcing the Lincoln Summer Drive Sales Event. Drive off with the best values of the year on our best models ever, including the Lincoln MKZ. Now with 0% limited term APR financing during the Summer Drive Sales Event at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Looking for the perfect way to stay in touch?
U.S. Cellular can help you keep in touch with your kids even when they're away at school. With national plans that include unlimited call me minutes, 7 p.m. nights and weekends, and free incoming text messages. Plus, get a free Samsung SCH U520 with MP3 player and Bluetooth technology when you buy one for just $29.95.
At U.S. Cellular, we'll make sure you get everything you need and nothing you don't. U.S. Cellular is wireless where you matter most.
U.S. Cellular connects with you.
What do you think of Mike Wallace and the Geico Chevrolet?
Whatever. He's out there selling car insurance. I'm out there to win.
Isn't he your cousin?
I didn't say I wouldn't go fishing with the man. All I'm saying is, he comes near me, I'll put him in the wall.
But you don't race in the Busch Series.
Listen, go-kart track, grocery store, those remote-controlled boats. When it comes to Mike Wallace, the story ends with me putting him in the wall.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tuesday, it's a Central Division showdown on the north side as the Cubs go head-to-head with the Brewers at high def, followed by Cubs post-game live. Cubs Brewers, Tuesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Announcing the Mercury Summer Drive Sales Event. Drive off with the best savings of the year on our best lineup ever, including the 2007 Mercury Milan, now just $199 a month during the Summer Drive Sales Event. Only at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Tuesday and Wednesday, Derek Lee and the Cubs are back home on the north side for a big-time divisional battle with the Milwaukee Brewers in high definition. Don't miss. The Cubs hosting the Brewers Tuesday and Wednesday night at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. We can add Alfonso Soriano to that list. He'll be in the lineup. Prince Fielder back in the Brewers lineup today after serving a 2-game suspension. Cliff Floyd leading off in the 6th inning. And the Cubs trailing by 1. Brewers are down to their final chance. 2 outs in the ninth. Joe Dillon pinch hitting. 5-4 Giants. Floyd with a long home run to right in the first inning, his 5th of the year. He fouled out to the catcher in the 3rd.
Boy, Len, you want to talk about the best of both worlds? Look at this guy sitting in the upper deck playing a guitar, watching a ball game. How much better can it get than that?
It's good times.
Yeah.
And it's at the right volume, too. Although he has to play when the action is going on, because when the action is not going on, he'll be drowned out by the loud PA system. Mark Grace taking pictures with fans. Line into right for a base hit. Leadoff single for Cliff Floyd. Time for our Coors Light cold blast to the booth. We got an email from John Smock. This is good timing. This question is for Bob. John's from Chicago. Is it true when you are not doing a fine job of analyzing Cubs baseball, you like to play the acoustic guitar in your free time? What songs do you cover?
3 chords, John. I am strictly, my self-description is a ham-handed rhythm player. I can play some power chords. I know a few chords, and I play for my own entertainment only, other than Len and Bob's Bash.
So it has 2 or 3 chords.
As long as they're the 2 or 3 I know. I'm D, A, E, G, C. F is hard for me, so I don't play any songs that have an F chord in them.
All right.
And I found that if I plug my electric guitar into my little mini amp and crank it up real loud, you can miss notes and you can miss chords, and it still sounds really loud. I noticed the mistakes too much on the acoustic guitar.
Well, there's a reason in rock and roll they cranked up the electric guitars. You can be a little sloppy on the playing, but it still sounds good. Joe Dillon with a pinch hit single, keeping the Brewers alive for the time being. An ABBA fan.
There you go. Some Prince groupies.
Is that what that is?
I'm not sure.
Maybe Missing Persons, something from the 80s. And on the hands, popped up by Monroe. Off of first goes Jackson.
Craig Monroe is one guy that was sad to see Petit leave the ball game. He had some nice swings against him today, including a double, a deep fly ball to the wall in left field.
Well, it's a final. 5-4 San Francisco, so the Brewers swept. They had dropped 4 in a row, and they are back to 500. After a 24-10 start. Milwaukee now 65-65, and the Cubs have a 2-game lead in the Central. The Cardinals are 2.5 back after beating Atlanta 4-1. And when it's all said and done, the Cardinals may actually pose the biggest threat in the division. Well, it's going to be a long flight from San Francisco to Chicago, where the Brewers will spend an off day tomorrow.
I was just thinking that same thing. Boy, you can have a rough road trip as long as you win on getaway days. It at least makes the trip seem a little more palatable. But when you get swept and lose the final game of a road trip and have a long flight afterwards, woo, that's tough.
The Brewers are 40-25 at home and 25-40 on the road. So that bodes well for the Cubs. Fontenot missed it. 1-2 to count.
Well, Mike needs a little time to regroup after that swing. A very uncharacteristic. Kind of got fooled a little bit by the pitch, but rather than hold his swing or try to check his swing, he went ahead with the kind of slow motion swing. Knew he chased a bad pitch right away. Well, the funny thing is, Len, Mike Fontenot getting a start today. Ryan Theriot started every game of this series as shortstop, and we talk about all the young kids on the Diamondbacks team. You kind of forget that Fontenot and Theriot are just learning the ropes up here themselves. I mean, Theriot to me feels like a veteran at this point in the season. What he's done on the field offensively, what he's done defensively at the shortstop position, I just don't get the feeling that he's going to make a lot of young mistakes from this point forward.
Well, it's a good mix. Some guys like Cliff Lloyd, Derek Lee, Alfonso Soriano, Jock Jones, veterans, and then the young guys, PA, Fontenot, Theriot, you mentioned. Craig Monroe added with some postseason experience last year with Detroit. Mark DeRosa. Mark getting the day off. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boston crushed the White Sox again, 11-1. Outscored the White Sox 46-7 in their 4-game sweep. And the Red Sox with their 80th win. Yankees lost in Detroit 5-4. Curtis Granderson with an inside the park home run. This is Young out in center. 2 outs. And the Cubs have the first base dugout, and if they look basically straight ahead out toward the foul pole, they can see all the out-of-town scores. Now, they haven't run that San Francisco-Milwaukee score final yet, but it is over 5-4. So really down both lines, you have the out-of-town scoreboards. So if they choose to look, they'll know who won and who lost. One on Henry Blanco. Gonzalez has come on and allowed just 1 hit while recording 5 outs. Petit gave up 4 runs in 4 innings. Carlos Marmol is up in the pen. So the Red Sox now with a 7.5 game lead in the East, and they'll head to New York for a 3-game series starting Tuesday. Swing and the miss. Dice K against Andy Pettit. Tuesday, Josh Beckett and Roger Clemens on Wednesday. Of course, there'll be no national television for that one. I'm
Probably
sure.
not.
Red Sox, Yankees.
Search through the sports pages the next day to find a story about that game.
Floyd still at first base. No swing. Cliff led off the inning with a single to right. So the tying run is on base.
Henry barely able to hold up right there. No stride whatsoever, you may have noticed with his approach. Just a little bit of a weight shift onto the back leg and then back forward again.
Hit hard. Cirillo backhanded it. Remember the play he made to end the ball game last night. So Cirillo can still pick it at third base. 5-4 Arizona.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and now we're making it easy for you to choose your new Chevy. Just click and go to find great offers on 07 cars, trucks, and SUVs online 24/7. But you've got to decide. Then get to your dealer before yours is gone at the Chevy Model Year-End event. Qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Impala 1LT for around $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com. Then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers.
When the Cubs game is over, stay tuned for Cubs postgame live on Comcast Sportsnet. All the interviews and press conferences, in-depth game highlights, and Dan Plesek breaks down all the action. Cubs postgame live after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
When the subject is trucks, you've got to know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Whether you've been to Wrigley Field or been 1,000 times, whether you've never been, I should say, or been 1,000 times, a guided tour of the friendly confines has something for everyone. Each 90-minute tour includes a visit to the press box, locker rooms, dugouts, and much more. Tours are sponsored by Bank of America and are available on select dates throughout the season. Tickets are $25 and proceeds benefit Cubs Care. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Chris Snyder hits the first pitch on the ground. Diving stop. Aramis Ramirez throws to Lee, and he gets him. Good defense. One pitch, one out.
Ramirez just a couple of steps to his left, dives and smothers that ball. He's got the opposing catcher running, so has plenty of time to get to his feet, make that strong throw to get him at first. Now, normally you would expect Jeff Salazar now to come to the plate and take a strike in this at bat since Snyder made an out on the first pitch. Shows bunt.
One after the foul strike. There's a wild start today. All the runs scored in the first 2.5 innings. It has settled down quite a bit. Derek Lee with a home run that stayed in the park. Cliff Floyd left the yard with his home run. Chris Young has hit 2.
Now, since that second inning for the Cubs, basically Jason Marquis has settled in. For the Diamondbacks, defensively, they've settled in. They had a rough first inning throwing the ball around. Connor Jackson dropped one at first base. Stephen Drew threw one in the stands on the third base side. was a 90th pitch of the ball game for Jason Marquis.
Here's another payoff pitch. We couldn't hang on to it. We'll do it again.
It's a frustrating feeling for a catcher. You feel like you ought to be able to hang on to every one of those foul tips, but unfortunately a lot of times it misdirects the ball just enough to get it out of the pocket of the glove, hit you down on the heel or up near the fingertips, and just can't squeeze it and keep that ball in the glove.
And he lets him get away. Salazar has now reached all 3 times. Tug of war begins. Oh, okay. Everybody's going to be nice now.
He's eyeballing it.
Oh, she's rubbing it in a little bit. So that's going to be it for Jason Marquis. And I wonder if that's it for Henry Blanco. Yep, we're going to see a new battery entirely as Kendall coming in. And Carlos Marmol. Pitching change. We'll be back to Arizona in a moment.
Summer means time for camping out, cooling off, and time for the GMC Summer Sell-Down. The best time for the best selection of 07 models, like an 07 Sierra with best-in-class fuel economy and the best coverage in America.
The GMC Summer Sell-Down. Get $2,000 cash back when you purchase any 07 Yukon XL, plus an additional $4,000 on select Yukon XL models in inventory since 11/11/06. Visit GMCDrive.com.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close. Electric smooth.
Wake up to rivalry and wake up to McDonald's. Get any 2 biscuit sandwiches for just $3.
Agility captured by the world's most advanced 4-wheel active steering system. Now cornering is more precise, handling more responsive. The all-new 330 horsepower Infiniti G Coupe. Intensity captured.
Well, Lou brings Carlos Marmol into the ballgame in the 6th and a double switch. So he might be able to go beyond an inning, or at least 2/3 of an inning, because there's 1 out. Jason Kendall now catching. It's a bad start, good finish for Marquis. Gave up all the runs in the first 2 innings, although Salazar at first base still on his record. As Marmol faces Jeff Cirillo. Fontenot goes out. Jones comes in. Mike will make the catch. And former Cub Augie Ojeda will bat for the first time in the series. Switch hitter. And he pinch hits for Gonzalez.
Ojeda's numbers for the season as a pinch hitter for Bob Melvin. 3 for 12 off the bench with a couple of RBI. Let's take a little nap till the 7th inning stretch is over.
Augie spent time on the Cubs roster in 2000. 2001, 2002, and 12 games in 03. Last year he was at Iowa at AAA at 248 in 115 games. At 339 in 30 games, 59 at bats for Minnesota in 04.
And Augie Ojeda tied with Jeff Cirillo for the team lead in ERA. Clean inning of work.
Slider almost hit him. 3-1. Behind second, the middle infielders, and Ontario will make the catch. That ends the inning, so Marmol gets 2 outs to go to the 7th. 5-4 Diamondbacks.
Blades of Glory on August 28th. There's a new sheriff in town. The gold medal comedy is coming to DVD.
Go ahead, drink it in.
Blades of Glory. Own it on DVD August 28th.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserved your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
Hey Cubs fans, tune into Comcast Sportsnet all year to watch your team and the LoJack caught stealing play. Then visit Cubs.com/LoJack to enter to win a 2008 spring training trip. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
The police often question him just because they find him interesting. His beard alone has experienced more than a lesser man's entire body. His blood smells like cologne. He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Beginning September 9th, the Bears are back from hibernation, and only Comcast Sportsnet will have the most in-depth coverage of the monsters of the Midway. It all begins September 9th, only on Comcast Sportsnet, a Chicago Bears fan's best friend this season.
Coming up tonight on Sports Night, presented by the AT&T Real Yellow Pages, an update of the NL Central race, plus a recap of yesterday's Bears win. Join Mark and Carey for Sports Night, presented by AT&T Yellow Pages. Tonight after Cubs postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Bears offense got it going in the first half against the Niners. Tony Peña's been a busy man this year, his 59th appearance.
Only 49 base hits surrendered in 70 and a third innings pitched.
And he faces Jason Kendall, who gets his first at bat. Bob, I noticed earlier with Blanco catching, Jason came out to catch Marquis while Henry was getting his equipment on. Jason had just his regular cap, not a helmet, no mask. But a lot of times you'll see bullpen catchers or position players, they'll put on the full gear. Does it just depend on personal preference? What did you do when you went up and warmed up a pitcher?
Usually just between innings, like you see right there. I did it like Jason Kendall does most of the time. I mean, you know, the reality is during the course of a ball game, if the pitcher throws a bad pitch, you're going to try to block it and keep it in front. But warming up between innings, if he throws one in the dirt, I'm getting out of there. As you said, position players or coaches occasionally that go out to warm up between innings. You'd like to see those guys as protected as possible. But a guy that...
kick in. The pitch. Line shot. Caught by Salazar. Terrio has to come back to second. What a day for Salazar with 2 hits, a walk, and the defensive play of the game. Remember the catch Jock made earlier. This one just as big. That saved a run, at least for now.
Well, Jock creamed that ball towards right field. Salazar got a good jump, had to fully stretch out and extend to make the catch, and then the off-balance, awkward throw back to the infield, trying to get it back in as quickly as possible. So Terrio can't go back to the bag and tag up in advance. Boy, that's a nice play. Well, you really like to cash that run in right here with Derek Lee, and hopefully Aramis Ramirez making their way to the plate. This game is kind of following a script for Bob Melvin. Tony Pena in the 7th, Brandon Lyon in the 8th, and Jose Valverde in the 9th. An opportunity to push one across here with 2 outs. This would be huge.
You don't know how many more chances you're going to get. Well, each team with a run-saving catch in the outfield. Jock Jones off the bat of Chris Snyder in the 3rd inning, and Jeff Salazar robbing JJ here in the 7th.
Well, you know Ryan Terrio at second base, especially with 2 outs, is really going to be working hard for that secondary lead, trying to make sure he puts himself into a position that he can score on anything hit.
A big swing pitch goes the pitcher's way, 1-2. Snyder moving around back there. 98 from Pena.
And you saw Snyder initially slide to the inside part of the plate, trying to decoy Derek Lee to think that the pitch was going to be coming inside, and at the last instant jumped out onto the outside corner.
This big crowd into it. Tapper and Pena will throw out Lee. We've reached the 7th inning stretch in the rubber game today. It's 5-4 Diamondbacks.
Behold the wonder of it. Its wide mouth allowing it to flow cold and unrestrained all that is parched. It is awe-inspiring, is it not? You really love this river. River? No. I'm talking about this Coors Light wide mouth can.
The Wide Mouth Can, a wide opening for wide open refreshment, only from Frost Brewed Coors Light.
People will travel great distances to enjoy this. You can get these wide mouth cans anywhere. Talking about the river.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, you can get more than just some sun. Get more horsepower than any import under 18 grand, and still get 33 on the highway. Get more horsepower and better highway fuel economy than Scion TC. And with every 2007 Pontiac, you get more coverage than anyone in America.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, choose 0 APR or $3,000 total customer cash on any 2007 Torrent. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Shining is taking responsibility. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we know managing your health care can be overwhelming, and it's our job to help you meet the challenge. By guiding, supporting, and showing the way, we encourage you to gain control. Because we believe the best tool we can give you is the confidence to take charge. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Don't miss any of the action as the Cubs entertain the Houston Astros coming up this Friday at 1:20. Kids get to the ballpark early. The first 10,000 children 13 and younger will receive a Cubs growth chart, compliments of 3A Day of dairy and your local dairy farmers. Time now for the sharp aquas details of the game. We're going to have a couple of them for you. The run-saving catches. Jock Jones laying out, robbing Chris Snyder. And then more recently, Jones trying for an extra base hit. Jeff Salazar went to get it in right center.
And Salazar has had very limited playing time. This is only his 13th game of the season. He's been up and down between AAA Tucson, but when he was up earlier this year, I can't recall who the opponent was, but he stole a home run from somebody climbing the wall out there in right field. Was had his belt on the yellow stripe at the very top of the fence, reached over to steal a home run away. He's made some nice defensive plays in his sparse playing time.
Top of the order now for the Diamondbacks. Chris Young get a leadoff home run in the first inning. That was his 27th, and then his 28th, a much more damaging blow. Go-ahead 3-run shot in the second, both off Jason Marquis. The 1-0 from Marmol fouled straight back.
And for the 8th time this season, Chris Young led off the ball game with a home run for the Diamondbacks, a 412-footer to left field, and then later hit a 3-run bomb in the second inning. Did strike out in his last at bat in the 4th against Jason Marquis.
Based on his numbers in the low on base percentage and what we've seen from him today, I haven't looked at the scouting reports, but it sounds like the one thing he has to improve is his strike zone judgment. If you make a mistake against him, that wasn't a mistake, that was a good pitch by Marmol. If you make a mistake and leave a ball over the plate, he is going to hurt you big time. But you can get him to chase some bad pitches.
And here's a perfect illustration of that. A slider that starts on the outside corner, dips low and away. And doesn't really cut down much on his swing with 2 strikes. Plate discipline that you talk about. Some guys never figure out how to be more disciplined and make sure they get good pitches to hit. And some guys, it just comes with more at-bats and more experience.
I guess you would call Chris Young pitchable right now, but when he's hot, look out.
I mean, I'm sure there have been stretches this season where he did miss mistake pitches over the heart of the plate. It's just right now he is in one of those hot streaks where if you make a mistake over the plate where he can get the barrel of the bat on it, he's going to do some damage.
And I think actually his aggression at the plate, his aggressive nature, gets teams, and his youth gets teams to actually to pitch to him. And then you do that, you're going to give up home runs. You know, he hasn't yet developed a reputation. Where was that pitch?
Orlando Hudson thought it was strike 3. I know that. He was walking back to the dugout. I don't know where this one misses. Maybe called high. I'm not sure. It's a breaking ball that ended up below the belt right in the middle of the plate.
He'll head to the dugout this time. He received new life. Strikes out swinging. Well, next year will be an interesting year for Young after going around the first time through. And he may end up with 30, 35 home runs. Might get some exposure in the postseason, but teams will have 6 months to think about him in the offseason.
Well, with the 2 home runs today, that gives him 28 on the season. You would assume he's going to hit 2 more before the end of the year to get to 30. Going to have to pick up his stolen bases just a little bit if he wants to go 30-30. He's on 21 right now.
One and one on Burns. Boy, he had a huge lead. Safe. Kendall did all he could. Burns stole that base. He got the jump and had the huge lead. Arnold didn't even check on him.
Well, I'll tell you, Len, some runners slow down when they slide headfirst into a bag. It looks like Eric Burns accelerates into his slide. He never really breaks it down. Hard headfirst slide into second base. Real good close shot right there. By the time Fontenot applies the tag to the left leg, Burns has already got his hand on the bag.
He had one of the biggest leads I've seen.
You know, a lot of the, well, most of the pickoff attempt throws to first base and the pitch outs come from the bench, from Lou and Larry Rothschild over on the bench studying their charts. The preferred counts for the opposing manager to try to hit and run or try to steal. But as a pitcher on the mound, if you take a peek out of the corner of your eye and see a lead like Eric Burns had over there at first base, it's on you to either step off the rubber or force him back to the bag, throw a pickoff attempt over there on your own. It doesn't always have to come from the coaching staff. You have to use your own savvy out there on the mound a little bit. And as you mentioned, Burns had a huge lead over there at first base.
That's about as far off as you can get.
That's a full step bigger than anybody else has taken a lead off in this game.
And sometimes that pickoff throw is not necessarily to get the guy, but just to reduce his lead. Get him to back up a step or two. Jock Jones is heading in, and he makes the catch. Ramirez, Floyd, Monroe due up in the 8th, 5-4.
What's the difference between having fun and having none? The Midas Touch Maintenance Package. We'll change your oil, rotate your tires, and do a 45-point courtesy check, all for just $29.95. It's our lowest price of the year. Let Midas help you get the most from your car. For brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Be safe.
Trust the Midas Touch.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event. And now, getting the Cobalt you want is easy. Just click and go online 24/7 to check out great offers. Pick your model, pick your color, but you better do it now. Then get to your dealer before yours is gone. The Chevy Model Year-End event. Get a 2007 Chevy Cobalt LS sedan starting at $13,640 after $1,000 cash back. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com, then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers.
Watch the Cubs battle the Astros on Saturday, September 1st. Game time 12:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card, and 100 random winners will receive an exclusive Cubs branded Apple iPod Nano, compliments of Comcast Sportsnet. Fans are encouraged to hold on to those cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. Tony Clark now playing first base. that night. Brandon Lyon now in the cleanup spot doing the pitching.
Now, Tony Clark at first base was in the original starting lineup today. Had a little bit of a fall, fell down a set of steps and had to be scratched from the starting lineup, but comes in here late for a defensive replacement.
Nothing in one on Ramirez, who's 0 for 3. Did not get a run and a ground out in the first inning. It's Bob Howry in the pen for the Cubs. Rainbow to right, down along the line for Jeff Salazar. He has it.
Another frustrating at bat for Aramis Ramirez in this series. They've made some really good pitches on him, and on occasion he's chased some bad pitches, but just not having a lot of luck.
Floyd's first inning solo home run. His first home run since June 26th. Left-hander Doug Slayton and the closer Jose Valverde leads the major leagues with 39 saves. The latest coming last night. A 1-2-3 ninth inning. Check swing bouncer. Lyon gets it, throws to Clark, 2 outs.
You know Valverde's up for the 9th inning. You have to believe Slayton is up just in the event Lou goes to Darrell Ward to pinch hit at some point in this inning. That's the one lefty Bob Melvin has in the bullpen.
A meager 2 hits for the Cubs against their bullpen since Gonzalez came on in the 5th inning. Monroe taps it to Lyon. And the Cubs go down very quietly in the 8th inning. Last of the 8th, 5-4 still for Arizona.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer and 0% APR financing across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Menards is the place where you'll always save big money. Brighten your walls this Labor Day weekend with Dutch Boy DuraClean paint, a premium interior paint that features a lifetime guarantee and a finish that stays clean. Featuring superior one-coat coverage. It's on sale just $15.88 a gallon after rebate. Stop by the Dutch Boy Color Center and find the perfect look with today's 48 hottest color trends, or bring in a sample of your favorite color and we'll color match it for free.
Save big money at Menards.
Does a satellite company care about your community? Do they employ local people? Does a satellite company pay local taxes and franchise fees? Did they give you local stations and community programs? Does satellite wire your local schools for free? Well, we appreciate your business, and we promise to continue to value our role in your community. Mediacom, delivering on the promise.
Now for a Cadillac Sports Update.
Hi, everyone. Luke Stuckmeyer in our Chicago studios. More Cubs baseball in just a moment. First, a look at how the Brewers did this afternoon. Tied in the bottom of the 8th. Rich Aurelia pops it up. But Corey Hart has trouble seeing the ball in the high sky. Pedro Feliz comes in to score. Giants take the lead and go on to win 5-4. Brewers drop to 500 on the season and for now a full 2 games behind the Cubs in the division. Brewers will be here on Tuesday. Now let's get back out to Arizona with London Bob.
All right, Luke, it's 5-4 Arizona. The last run came in the 3rd inning of this ball game, an inside the park home run by Derek Lee. Carlos Marmol with an inning and 2/3 of scoreless ball. He walked one but did not give up a hit. Continuing the stellar bullpen work, Bob Howery will try to keep the Diamondbacks at 5 and give the Cubs a chance in the 9th. Coming in the last 9 games, the Cubs pen with a 1.46 collective ERA. Called strike on a fastball at 94 from Howery. The 9th, Mike Fontenot will start it. Then a pinch hitter. And Lou has a couple of options. He has Darrell Ward. Also has Felix P.A. from the left side. DeRosa and Merton from the right side. Pretty good looking bench today. It'll be against Jose Valverde. Assuming the score is close. And then Kendall will hit 3rd. Swing and a miss on another fastball from Howery. Strike 3.
Well, the Cubs are going to need a reversal of fortunes if it is Valverde that comes into the ball game. The entire roster as it's composed today has a total of 2 hits lifetime against Jose Valverde. 1 by Ryan Theriot, 1 by Jock Jones.
Been a hang with him day for Snyder at the plate. He's been retired on 2 nice defensive plays. Jones, the great catch in the 3rd out in center. And then Aramis Ramirez on a nifty play in the 6th. Well, it's our last look at the Diamondbacks here in the regular season. And who knows, maybe the Cubs and D-backs will match up again in the postseason. But I'll tell you what, the numbers don't all stack up. They've been outscored by quite a few runs, but that doesn't matter. They're in first place. 73-57. And I think the intangibles that this young ball club brings to the table is pretty impressive.
Well, and if indeed the Cubs and the Diamondbacks hook up in the postseason at some point, it's going to make for some tough voting for Manager of the Year. Lou Piniella will certainly get his share of votes for the turnaround that the Cubs have encountered this year. But boy, it's tough to argue with Bob Melvin as a Manager of the Year candidate. I mean, you look at his lineup today. His number 4 hitter has 44 RBI on the season. His number 5 hitter has 42, and his number 6 hitter has 35. And these are everyday players.
Long run for Jones, and he can't quite get that one. Snyder was probably thinking he was going to catch it based on the afternoon he's had. Good effort. And it's Snyder's first hit.
As you mentioned, a long run for Jock Jones. That ball kind of tailed back in on the knuckles of Chris Snyder. Big, strong kid, took a full swing, but hit it off the handle of the bat, just floated out there in shallow left center field. JJ couldn't quite get there. That's a good time to make that diving effort because you know your left fielder is going to be right there to back the play up if you can't come up with it. And sure enough, Cliff Floyd was right there behind Jock.
Well, the MVP of the Diamondbacks today has been Chris Young, but their unsung hero has been Jeff Salazar. He has reached every time and made a huge defensive play to keep the Cubs from tying it in the 7th. Don't know if it'll earn him back-to-back starts against Jake Peavy tomorrow night, but he'll make Bob Melvin think about it. Justin Upton getting the day off today.
Well, Salazar in his brief time with the Rockies hit 283. It's not like this guy is a total slouch. I think most people around baseball view him as a solid 4th outfielder or a part of a platoon if you have a right-handed hitting corner outfielder. But the little bit I've seen of this guy, he looks like a pretty good player. Very quick, short swing, no stride.
Swing and a miss. So he strikes out.
Bob Howery gets Salazar to expand his zone. That pitch up and away.
Are trying to make it 10 straight games without allowing double digits in hits. The Diamondbacks currently with 7. Chip Hale with a nice form as he fields that ground ball. You know, at some point Jeff Cirillo is going to retire. This is his 14th season. See, he's got the big wad of bubble gum in his mouth. That's a baseball thing to do. It's also something kids do. I just wonder after he retires if he'll just kind of walk around with bubble gum. If that's a habit that'll be tough to break.
You wonder if it's just something he does at the ballpark or something he does all the time. You don't know for sure. You know, Jeff Cirillo's achieved a lot of things over his long career, but the thing that stands out in my mind, I don't think I've ever seen the guy make a bad throw. Every throw is chest high, whether it's second base, first base, throwing to the catcher. One of the most accurate throwing arms for an infielder I've ever seen.
And as good a hitter as he's been, 296 in his career, there have been stretches where it has not gone well. He has had the reputation of a guy who really will beat himself up mentally. It seems to have gotten past that the last few years.
Well, this game will beat you up enough on its own without you beating yourself up. You know, certainly you appreciate that attitude, and Jeff Cirillo is always overworked, trying to be the best he can possibly be.
Mark Loretta, who was with Cirillo in Milwaukee, said, quote, he always looked tortured even when he was hitting .325. Still 2-2.
You know, sometimes that same quest for perfection that drives a lot of great athletes can be a detriment at times. Very delicate balance.
He's making Howery work. That's pitch number 19 of the inning.
Well, not that it's a huge advantage for him, but Chris Snyder running at first base will be off on the first movement of Bob Howery here as Derek Lee moves around behind.
The 3-2 pitch, and he walked him. Here comes Tony Clark.
And this is his more productive side of the plate. He's at 241 with 9 home runs this year as a left-handed hitter, 185 with 2 as a right-handed hitter.
Tallest switch hitter in Major League history, 6'7".
There were the numbers I was talking about. Good low ball hitter from the left side of the plate.
Former college basketball player at Arizona and San Diego State. In high school in El Cajon, California, in his senior year, he averaged 43.7 points per game.
When I mentioned those RBI numbers for the middle of the Diamondbacks lineup, Tony Clark, a part-time player, comes in for defense a lot late for Connor Jackson. The most used pinch hitter for Bob Melvin. He's driven in 34 runs this season in limited playing time. The guys in the middle of the lineup are in the low 40s as everyday players.
First and second, 2 outs. A 2-2 count on Tony Clark. The pitch. Well, Howery wants to get Clark get out of this inning, but he really does not want to face Chris Young. He's in the on-deck circle already with 2 home runs.
And that's a good place for him. Leave him right there.
And he does get out of the inning. All 3 outs come on swinging strikeouts on fastballs. Last chance for the Cubs. They're down 1 as we head to the 9th.
With convenient flights every day, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home!
Fly one of Southwest's 8 daily nonstops from Chicago Midway to the San Francisco Bay Area for just $99, including new service to San Francisco International starting August 26th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Amstel Light.
You can lean on me.
Live tastefully.
You are cordially invited to the event from Lexus. The summer sales event where you'll find unexpected values on the Lexus you've always wanted. But like summer, it won't last forever. The event, now through September 4th. See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
After the game, stick around for Cubs post-game live. Get highlights of all the action and analysis from Dan Plesac. Don't miss Cubs post-game live immediately following the ballgame right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Jose Valverde looking for his 40th save of the season on here to try to close it out for the Diamondbacks. Cubs are going to try to avoid that. They just need one to tie, two to win. A lot of nuances to a new ballpark when you go into it, and that goes for the fans too. Whoops. Oh. When you stand up here at Chase Field, the seats fold up. She knows that now.
So here we go. Fontenot and then Darrell Ward, at least for now, as a pinch hitter, followed by Jason Kendall. After the Cubs won Friday night, you kind of feel like they're that Cub fan falling down trying to sit. 6-2. They go 3-1 on the trip, but they lost last night and they're trailing again today. Well, it looked like the Cubs were poised for at least a 4-2 trip. If they can't get at least one here in the ninth, it'll be a 3-3 road trip, which you would normally take. But I know Lou Piniella wants more. Especially considering the second place team, Milwaukee, lost and the Cardinals won. Mike Fontenot with a base hit, and the tying run is at first base with nobody out.
Good start to the top half of the ninth. Mike Fontenot just fighting off that high fastball into left field for a base hit. Darrell Ward will be the pinch hitter now. In this role, he's 6 for 29 on the season. Overall, hitting .318.
As it stands right now, if the Cubs don't come back, they'll still be up a game and a half on Milwaukee, but the Cardinals will be within 2. They're trying to rally here and push Milwaukee to 2.5 out. Just a little bit out in front.
Well, the thing is, Len, the deeper you get in the season, especially when you're the team sitting atop the division, just crossing those days off the calendar without losing any ground, that's just as important as gaining ground when the opportunity is there. Just knock another day off the calendar, get closer to the end of the season, and maintain your lead.
Swing and a miss. Well, I think more than anything, I mean, you know, Milwaukee helping out by losing its last 4. But the Cardinals are still right there. And all of a sudden, St. Louis is within 1 of 500, 63 and 64.
Every time you want to force that third baseman, Jeff Cirillo, to come in and make the play.
Well, she's smiling again. She's on her feet and excited that the Cubs have rallied. That was foul because Kendall bunted it off his foot. Actually off his knee.
Yeah, caught him on the back knee right there while he was in the batter's box. That's just a foul ball.
Ready for a 1-1. Too high.
And that sun coming through the windows near the top of the stadium here at Chase Field, starting to throw a very odd looking, it's not even a shadow, that's light. From center field over across second base, then back across the mound. Doesn't appear to be too much of a factor right now for the hitters.
Valverde calling his catcher Snyder out. If you just joined us, Alfonso Soriano will be back in the Cubs lineup Tuesday night. He'll hit leadoff as he comes off the disabled list after the quad injury. The Brewers lost today in San Francisco. Popped up on the bunt. Snyder got a late look at it. Fortunately for the Cubs.
Well, Snyder didn't pick it up immediately, and the ball wasn't bunted that high in the air. Fortunately for Jason Kendall and the Cubs, he'll live to battle again here.
Tell you what would have been interesting if he gets back there in time but completely lays out, dives, and makes a catch. Fontenot could have tagged.
And base runners are taught any ball in the air in foul territory, go back and tag up. You never know what's going to happen with the defender. As you said, he may make the catch, fall down. You never know.
2-2 to Kendall. It's outside, and the count is full. I think we're into the nail-biting stage now. Fontenot's first move was towards third, but there was no defender sneaking in behind him, so Valverde had nowhere to throw it.
Yeah, I don't think Fontenot was going anywhere. He was just trying to really work hard to get a good secondary lead. And fortunately, neither Diamondback middle infielder broke for the bag.
And the runners were going with nobody out.
Well, that tells you the kind of confidence Lou Piniella has in Jason Kendall's ability to make contact at the plate. I mean, with nobody out in the top half of the ninth inning, a line drive right at an infielder, that turns into a triple play to end the ball game, and that would not be good.
There they go again, and another foul.
Boy, and unlike a lot of hitters we've seen in this ball game today, Jason Kendall is a guy who naturally chokes up and shortens up on his swing. Even more exaggerated in the two-strike count. Just trying to stay alive, put that ball in play, hopefully find a hole.
Well, Valverde strikes out a lot of hitters, and Kendall doesn't strike out a whole lot. So, battle of wills here. A base hit will easily tie it. Another fake towards second.
believe this is going to be a slide step changeup if I read the signs right.
Runners go, swing and a miss, throw to third. They got him. Ouch. That hurts. The first strikeout of the day, a huge one for the Diamondbacks. And then they get Fontenot at third base. Meanwhile, PA went to second, but there are 2 gone. Well, that's the risk you take.
That was a fastball at 96. I guessed wrong with the signs I saw. A nice play by Jeff Cirillo at the other end there. Picked that short hop throw out of the dirt, applied the tag to Fontenot. Hey, you roll the dice. Sometimes it comes up 7. Sometimes it comes up snake eyes.
Well, a base hit can still tie it here with the speedy PA at second base. High to Terrio.
I mentioned a little while ago, Terrio is one of the guys on this Cubs roster that has a hit against Valverde in his career.
That was the first strikeout for the Cubs all day. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
Valverde milking every minute of this bottom half of the 9th inning.
By the way, PA is not credited with a stolen base because the lead runner was thrown out. Fontenot, 2-0 to Terrio. Foul, not by much. Well, if you know Ryan Terrio, Tony Clark should probably just stand right on the foul line.
I'm really a little surprised the Diamondbacks aren't guarding the lines more than they are. I mean, ball hit down either line is going to be extra bases for Ryan Terrio. Tony Clark well off the line at first, as is Jeff Cirillo over there at third base. I guess Bob Melvin's thinking is he'd rather cut off that ball that goes toward the hole and end the ball game rather than protect against an extra base hit.
Here comes a 2-1. 3 balls and a strike on Terrio. Jock Jones would hit next. His bid to tie it in the 7th. Denied by Jeff Salazar, who made a terrific grab out and right. That was with a runner at second. And he walked him. The producer of Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet is Bob Albrecht. Our director today, Dave Turner. Our associate producer, Tamara Anderson. Beth Pockman, our stage manager in the booth. Our technical director, Steve Feinberg. Great work by our entire crew here in Phoenix. The executive producer of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is Jim Corno Jr. Cubs trying to rally here in the 9th. They put the first 2 on, but a strike them out, throw them out double play puts them in a corner. First and second again with 2 outs. A pitch to Jones. It's away, ball 1. Valverde has a sign from Snyder. The pitch, 1-1.
That was a pitch in a location where Jock likes it. Up and out over the plate at 94 miles an hour. Just a little bit tardy. seen that move several times already this inning. Not intended whatsoever to pick that runner off second base, just to try to shorten up Felix Piet's lead.
It's been a thriller in the desert today. The 1-1 to Jones. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Down to their final swing now. Jock not happy with himself for that swing. Well, that sunlight you were talking about directly on the hitter right now. Bouncer, Clark with a diving stop, and they get the out to end the ball game. Tony Clark with a huge defensive play, and the Cubs come up short. What an opportunity they had here in the ninth on a couple of occasions, but Valverde able to shut the door. Watch this play.
Now, Tony Clark came into the ball game in the 8th inning as a defensive replacement for Connor Jackson. After that play to end the ball game, you'd have to say that was a brilliant move on the part of Bob Melvin, something he does on a daily basis.
Valverde picks up his 40th save. He's a little excited. So the trip ends at 3-3. The Cubs are still up a game and a half on Milwaukee. Again, the Brewers were swept in San Francisco, so that's the good news. But the Cardinals are very much in this thing. They pick up a full game, now just 2 games out. And the Reds we mentioned, I guess they're not technically out of anything. They've won 6 straight, and right now 6.5 back. Let's check in on the Nissan drive of the game. The first of 2 home runs today for the Cubs. A first home run on the trip. Cliff Floyd in the first inning. Deep out to right field. And Bob, at that point it was 3-0, but Chris Young and the Diamondbacks came back, and once they took the lead in the second, they would not trail again.
Yeah, really the story of this ball game was the Cubs pitching staff's inability to control Chris Young in his first 2 at-bats of this ball game. 2 home runs, 4 RBI for the youngster.
Edgar Gonzalez got the win with 2 scoreless innings of relief. Off day tomorrow, and bring on the Brewers at Wrigley Field, as they'll start that big series. The Cubs a game and a half up on Milwaukee, with Alfonso Soriano scheduled to make his return from the DL for Game 1. So that'll do it for our game coverage. Stay tuned for post-game live. The final score, the Diamondbacks 5, the Cubs 4. Our next Cubs telecast Tuesday night, the big one coming up. Brewers and the Cubs from Wrigley Field. The pitching matchup on Tuesday, Jeff Suppan and Rich Hill. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, this is Len Casper. You've been watching Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll see you Tuesday night from the friendly confines.
Wow, what a disappointing finish in the desert. Mark Shanowski and Kerry Sayers back in our Comcast Sportsnet studio. We're standing by for Sports Night immediately following Cubs postgame live.
Coming up on the show, we'll look back at the Bears' preseason victory over the 49ers last night. Plus, the White Sox look to salvage a win in their nightmare series against Boston. That's all coming up on Sports Night.
But up next, Luke Stuckmeyer and Dan Plesac will break down this afternoon's game in Arizona. No doubt talk about Jose Valverde's celebration. I guess they won the World Series or something. Plus, the latest on Alfonso Soriano's return. That's all coming up next on Cubs Postgame Live.
Are your kids dreaming of playing in the big leagues? Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are giving them a chance. Chevy's Diamond Dreams. Simply log on to ChevyDriveChicago.com, print out an entry form, and bring it to your local Chevy dealer now. Your kid could play for Ozzie or Lou at U.S. Cellular Field or Wrigley Field. Enter by September 8th for a chance to make their Diamond Dreams come true now.
That was a nice catch, kid.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Addison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University. Located near the Addison and Rockwell intersection, the remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For another option, try riding your bike. The Cubs provide a free bike check at the car wash at Clark and Waveland. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
This Friday, the story you thought you knew will reveal secrets you can't imagine. And unleash a twist. Mike, I failed you. You'll never forget. Halloween, rated R, everywhere Friday.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
Honey, I think this might be our lucky day.
I think it might be.
I think this is what we've been waiting for.
I think it is.
Yes!
It turned blue!
Introducing the Coors Light Cold Activated Bottle. The mountains turn from white to blue when your beer reaches the perfect temperature.
It's blue like your eyes.
My eyes are green!
Only from Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. Bacardi Rum, if you're going to drink, be responsible. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Pontiac, 9 performance machines, all designed for action.
Bouncer, Clark with a diving stop, and they get the out to end the ball game. Tony Clark with a hit.
Jose Valverde with fire ants in his pants after that game. Diamondbacks win it 5-4. The Cubs blow a 3-0 lead and lose 2 out of 3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hello and welcome to Cubs Postgame Live alongside former Cubs reliever Dan Plesac. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. Let's get right to that 9th inning where the Cubs had a great chance to tie this up or take the lead, Dan. You get the first 2 runners on, and then the Cubs make a decision. They're going to keep the runners moving with nobody out. It all starts off with Mike Fontenot, who comes up with this single to lead off. It's 5-4 Diamondbacks. They get the leadoff guy on. Up comes Darrell Ward. And Ward goes opposite field with a single. Now it's 1st and 2nd. Nobody out. And Jason Kendall comes to the plate. Strike him out, throw him out. Lou Piniella with the runners going. You liked that decision, but it didn't work out here. Then you get the walk to Terrio, and Jock Jones is the Cubs' last chance with runners at 1st and 2nd. The ground ball. He can't beat Valverde to the bag, and then you get the celebration. Dan, first of all, what do you think of the celebration from Valverde?
It looked like the 3rd time that Mark Shanowski took his driver's test in Milwaukee. Jubilation.
Total jubilation. It's a little much.
A little bit much. But you know what, this, you go back and you try to dissect that 9th inning. You say, okay, is that a good play, 1st and 2nd? You have a guy up in Jason Kendall that is well known for a small amount of strikeouts, is going to put the ball in play, and really you roll the dice. And I don't think it was that bad of a play. It's one of those plays where when it's over with, you can go back and criticize it. But really, if you look at the data, you have a guy in Jason Kendall, puts the ball in play, very low strikeout total. You have a couple of runners on base with good speed. If you're trying to make something happen, this has been a Cub team, and offensively, really for the entire season, that has had the inability really for that big blowout inning, that big, you're going to sit back and wait for the long ball. I think it was the right play to try to make something happen. Unfortunately, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And it may have been close. It could have been ball 4 that he swung at, but at the same time, when it's that close, he's trying to protect those runners a little bit, too.
And really on the back end of the play, you really have to take your hat off. Jeff Cirilla made a tremendous play because that was not a very good throw down the 3rd base. It was a short hop that he was able to glove and field and apply the tag to Fontenot to get the 2nd out of the inning. So it was a good play all the way around for the Diamondbacks. I would even say a risky play for the Cubs. You're trying to make something happen. You're down a run. You're not necessarily, I know a lot of people question, should you try to bunt in a situation like that? They tried that early on in the count. Jason Kendall wasn't able to get 2 pitches down to bunt, so you have a 3-ball, 2-strike count on a guy that makes contact. You roll the dice. It just didn't work out.
Well, the real hard thing about this is the Cubs had the early lead, 3-0, and all of a sudden, Chris Young came back to bite him. The former White Sox prospect was lights out today. Not 1, but 2 homers. What did you see on these 2 pitches from Marquis?
Well, actually, on that pitch, if we can go back and show that replay again, Henry Blanco was sitting up with a 2-strike count, wanting a fastball up in the strike zone. Here, and the second home run was just a fastball that cut, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. He just didn't have real good command of his pitches in the strike zone. You could tell early on he was getting a lot of ground, a lot of fly balls early on in the game. And when Jason Marquis is throwing the ball really well, he's going to induce a lot of ground balls. There are a lot of pop-ups the first couple innings, elevating the ball up into the strike zone. And one of the bugaboos that hurt Jason really the last couple of seasons has been yielding a lot of home runs. Unfortunately, that was a little bit of the undoing tonight.
White Sox fans on the south side are saying, why did we give this guy up in that Javi Vasquez trade? We should have given him Brian Anderson. It's funny how things work out sometimes. Time now for our Feldco pitching recap. It was Marquis against Yusmeiro Petit on the hill. Marquis, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 94 pitches. Dan, he didn't walk a lot of guys, just 3 walks, but he didn't have good control.
He just wasn't as sharp as he had been. His last start, he threw the ball very well. And I thought the Cubs did a very good job with Petit, making him throw strikes. Here was the fastball on a no-ball, 2-strike count. Henry Blanco wanted that ball up and elevated to change his eye level. Unfortunately, he missed in the middle of the plate down. And Jason Marquis was struggling from the outset. He wasn't real comfortable. When he's throwing the ball really well, he attacks the strike zone early on. Here, Jeff Cirella does a pretty good job of just knifing a ball through the right side of the infield right here. He just wasn't really sharp. There weren't a lot of swings and misses. And here, a fastball that was supposed to be up and in, cut back out over the outer third of the plate, and it was deposited over the bleachers.
In pregame live, we said a key to the game, one of our Lexus keys to the game was get on the board early. The Cubs did. Just wasn't Jason Marquis' day today. The big news before today's game, Alfonso Soriano will return to the Cubs in time for this Brewers series this week. Soriano a full week ahead on his rehabbing of that torn quad muscle. Here's what Lou Piniella had to say before today's game.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He's going to have to be a little careful, but we'll activate him on Tuesday and get him out there playing.
He'll bat 1 and carry on 2 weeks.
I would think that that's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll put We'll put Soriano back in the leadoff spot, Terry on the 2-hole, and we'll adjust. He's been working hard. I mean, he's on this road trip here in San Francisco. He worked hard. Here in Arizona, the same, and he's ready to go. I mean, we could wait another week, but he's not going to get any better than he is.
Well, it will be interesting. Soriano's going to bat leadoff against the Brewers. Of course, he tore that right quad running the bases back on August 5th. Dan, the big question is, with Terrio hitting more than 320 in the leadoff spot filling in for Soriano, is it the right move to put Soriano back atop the lineup with the sore leg?
That's a great question, but I think what you try to do as a manager is you try to put your players in the best position you can to have them succeed and perform well to help your team. And Alfonso Soriano's number at the leadoff spot are much better. Tinkering with him, trying in the 3 spot and even in the 5 spot in the batting order against some left-handed pitching, he didn't fare as well. And I think what you try to do as a manager, put your players in positions where they can be successful. His best numbers this year have been out of the leadoff spot. He's not your prototypical leadoff type hitter. He's not going to take a lot of pitches. He's more of a free swinger. But I think one of the things that helps ease this is the fact that Ryan Terrio he's really adept at being able to hit in the top of the order, down at the bottom of the order. He's hit just about everywhere in this order this year with the exception of the 3 or 4 hole. So I don't think it'll be that much of a drastic change. He's a disciplined hitter. He's not afraid to take pitches. Now, the question is going to be, are you going to need to take a lot of pitches with Alfonso Soriano if he gets on, with the chances that he's not going to be running as much as he was before this injury, but I think it'll set up perfect to have Terrio hitting in that 2 spot behind Alfonso Soriano.
When the Cubs were struggling this season, Soriano's bat got hot right away, and that's what kind of set the Cubs on the right path. You hope that is what happens here in this Brewers series. When you look at him coming back, are you concerned that maybe he's coming back too soon? It's a week ahead of schedule. If he hurts it now, he's done for the year.
Well, it's to the point now, Luke, to where you cannot afford to wait. I think what Lou touched on was great in the last segment is the fact that you can wait and wait and wait. We're at the nuts and bolts, the nitty-gritty. This is the season is really boiling down to these next 5 weeks. And a game that you give away, or if you think you have somebody that can help, Alfonso Soriano, it's time to really roll the dice and roll him out there. And if he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt. And if he goes down again, he's probably going to be lost for the remaining part of the season. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But if he says he's okay to play, and the Cubs have a terrific medical staff, and Mark O'Neill does a great job with these guys, and I'm sure they're fairly confident that they're going to put him out there and he's not going to re-injure himself. And if that's the case, a welcome addition, because they're desperately looking for somebody to provide some spark in that offense.
And here come the Brewers. As we go to break, let's check out our Pontiac opinion poll. Where should Ryan Theriot bat in the lineup with Soriano returning on Tuesday? Should he bat leadoff? Should he bat second, where the Cubs plan to bat him right now? Or C, lower in the order? Go to ComcastSportsNet.com, click on Chicago, then on the Cubs page. Go ahead and vote, and we'll have those results later in the show.
It takes a certain kind of person to appreciate this level of performance and technology. We like to call them Type A's. Don't miss the Acura chance to advance sales opportunity. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on 2007 Acura models for well-qualified customers.
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. Over the limit, under arrest.
Summer means time for camping out, cooling off, and time for the GMC Summer Sell-Down. The best time for the best selection of 07 models, like an 07 Sierra with best-in-class fuel economy and the best coverage in America.
The GMC Summer Sell-Down. Get $2,000 cash back when you purchase any 07 Yukon XL, plus an additional $4,000 on select Yukon XL models in inventory since 11/11/06. Visit GMCDrive.com.
DC, Daytona. We had 2 great friends, 3 great bikes. Awesome. I started on the C90. Can't wait to get it out on the open road.
S83. Fantastic.
The M109R is as bad as you want it to be. Power's incredible. This bike brings cruising to a whole new level.
Hi, I'm John Brenny. Come check out all the new Suzukis at Brenny Cycle Works in East Moline.
Just a few years ago, we wanted patients to be able to interact with their doctors online. The only reason they couldn't was slow dial-up internet from the phone company. Then cable brought competition to the internet, and speeds went through the roof. High-def video, high-speed internet. Competition from cable revolutionized medicine, brought patients and doctors closer together. Cable competes, we all win.
Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. For every Cubs victory this season, National City is proud to make a donation to Rhino Kid Care. Please visit rhinokidcare.com.
Okay, how about the Brewers today? Brewers and Giants wrapping up their 3-game set. Top of the third, Ryan Braun facing Tim Lincecum. And Braun crushes this 3-run homer. Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder score on his 25th homer of the season. Brew Crew led 4-1, but the Giants rally in the bottom of the 7th. Dave Bush facing Guillermo Rodriguez. Got all of that one. 2-run homer ties it at 4. Bottom 8th, Scott Linebrink against Rich Aurelia. Pops it up, but look at Corey Hart. He loses it in the high sky. Pedro Feliz comes in to score. That turns out to be the game winner. Brewers blow it again. They lose 5-4. Here are the up-to-the-minute National City, National League Central standings with 5 weeks to go and 33 games to play. The Cubs have a 1.5-game lead over the Brewers, who come to Wrigley Field this week starting on Tuesday. The Cardinals won today. They are now just 2 games back at 63 and 64, while the Brewers have fallen all the way to the 500 mark. Here's a look at our 4 seasons, who's hot and who's not around the majors right now. Who's hot? Ichiro, 15 for his last 32 with 2 stolen bases. Mark Teixeira of the Braves, 5 home runs and 15 ribbies in the past week. And Tim Wakefield, 2-0 with 14 scoreless innings in his last 2 starts. Who's not? Tigers pitcher Jeremy Bonderman has lost his last 2. Jeff Francoeur, 6 for his last 34 at the plate. And former Cubs Sergio Mitre has coughed up 21 hits in his last 10 2/3 innings. Welcome back to Cubs Postgame Live. Luke Stuckmeyer and Dan Plesac here. Let's check out what happened today out in Arizona. The Cubs were trying to take the rubber game of this series. The Cubs jumped out to an early 3-0 lead, but Chris Young erased that in a hurry. Big 3-run shot off Jason Marquis in the second, his second homer of the game. It's 5-3. Same score in the third. Derek Lee sends one deep to center. Young giving chase off the top of the wall. Lee rounding second. Eric Burns takes some time getting to it. Mike Quaddy's going to wave him home at third. Going for the inside, the park homer. D. Lee out of breath, but he's got it. It's a 5-4 game. Same score in the ninth. Cubs with the tying run at second. Tony Clark, the diving stop. Jock Jones out at first, and the Cubs lose 5-4. A heartbreak.